Charlton defender Scott Minto, a lovely tribute to Justin Edinburgh, and he really will be in everyone's thoughts today, won't he? Especially if Leyton Orient can get the job done and make it up into the Championship.
100%, Ollie. You know, as Martin was saying about he gets emotional thinking about it when he talks about Justin. I almost got a little bit emotional watching him talking about it. I played against Justin back in the day. Had a couple of nights out with him. Let's just say he was an absolute character, brilliant personality. And I can see that the job that he's done, and without a doubt, I'm sure there's every single Leyton Orient fan and anybody connected with the club as well, if they are to win today, even if they're not, but especially if they are to win today, one of the first thoughts will turn towards Justin and the great job that he did. Because what Martin was talking about, where the club was, so where he took over behind the scenes, but where Justin took over on the pitch, is just an incredible job for sure.
Yeah, indeed. As we await the players to enter the pitch, here they come out from the tunnel, and a tifo has been unfurled in the Charlton end away to our right. It says, "My only desire." And Scott, we expect that there are 40,000 Charlton fans in Wembley today. As a player, how much should they be harnessing the power of that support behind them in this game?
Oh, look, that's what you want to try and do. I mean, both sets of fans will be 100% behind the players, and the atmosphere is sensational. There is something about when you're playing in I'm not saying the Valley is, but it's a little bit tighter when you're playing at home on a regular basis, and you can feel the positivity and negativity a little bit more. It becomes a bit of a blur. You know, I haven't played in a playoff final, but I was fortunate enough to play in an FA Cup final, so the principle's the same, playing at Wembley Stadium. You sort of walk out and you actually just got to, in a way, stay in your zone and not get carried away to a point, but not too much that either you get too nervous or too over the top and you don't play your normal game. This is brilliant, and this bit now, all morning they've been absolutely desperate to go out and actually play this game, and now we're just minutes away.
The players are lined up next to the pitch as Rick Perry, the EFL chairman, comes out to greet the players. Leyton Orient in their away strip today, Charlton in their traditional red with white shorts. The noise levels in here are almost deafening as the players shake hands. So much at stake, and a reminder that this game kicks off at 1 minute past 3. That's all to raise awareness for the British Heart Foundation. It's part of their Every Minute Matters campaign. They're hoping that people learn CPR. It takes 15 minutes. There are over 30,000 out of hospital, cardiac arrests, and survival rates are less than 1 in 10. There's a lovely piece in the programme today, actually, from Tom Lockyer, the Luton Town player who suffered one on the pitch. But great to see so much awareness being raised this afternoon. You can search BHF Reviver to learn CPR today as we await the national anthem here ahead of kick-off. The financial boost that both these teams would get to, were they to win, is on the line, as well as the glory of being a championship club once again. And as we approach kick-off, let's now have the national anthem. You're listening to the EFL playoffs live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in, delivered to your door with McDelivery. Right, here we go then. The League One playoff final. Wembley loud and proud. Will it be Charlton Athletic or Leyton Orient? A place in the Championship awaits for one of these two London clubs. Time to hand over to our top commentary team. The former Chelsea and Charlton defender Scott Minto, alongside your match commentator for this afternoon, Nigel Adler.
Thank you, Ollie. Good afternoon once again. It's only the third London derby in the playoff era. And after the seasons both Charlton and Orient have experienced, coupled with the problems both clubs have had to deal with in recent years, this is much more than a local derby. This is the opportunity to embark on a new era, and with over 60,000 fans here, this is a match which will go down in the club's history, whatever happens. A reminder of the two teams again, both sides unchanged from the semi-final second legs in the playoffs. For Charlton, it is Will Mannion in goal, Kane Ramsey, Macaulay Gillespie and Lloyd Jones, the back three, Thierry Small, Connor Coventry, Greg Doherty and Josh Edwards in midfield, with Alex Gilbert behind Tyrese Campbell and Matt Godden. 22 goals this season in attack. For Orient, Josh Keeley is in goal on loan from Spurs. He's scored this season against Oldham in the FA Cup. A back four, Ethan Galbraith, Omar Beckles, Romani Edmonds-Green and Jack Curry. In midfield, Sean Clare and Jordan Brown. Behind Ollie O'Neill, Jamie Donnelly and Dan Ajayi, with Charlie Kelman, 27 goals for him. He is leading their attack. Andrew Kitchen is our referee once again. VAR is in use for this game, and Michael Salisbury, down from the Premier League, is in charge of the screens. And we hope, for many reasons, that they are not required here today. It is now a very warm and humid afternoon at Wembley after a wet morning and recent warm sunshine, and this stadium is awash with red and white. Of course, the two colours of both teams, and the Charlton supporters heavily outnumbering their counterparts from East London. There is an empty bank of red seats in the top tier which Orient fans have the opportunity to buy, but of course Charlton in many ways a far bigger club, but that is no guarantee of success in the playoff finals, and Leyton Orient have earned their place here today. And in terms of football, their general play may be more attractive on the eye, but Scott Minter, that doesn't really matter either, because we saw in Charlton's semi-final they can grind it out if they have to.
Oh, absolutely. And we also saw what happened yesterday, just 24 hours ago. A team playing really well and suddenly finding a way to lose. The other team finds a way to win. Yes, Charlton have beaten them home and away, but they've lost to them at the Valley in the EFL Trophy. I mean, I can give you 1,000,001 reasons why we just cannot call this game, to be honest with you, Nige, and that's why we're looking forward to it even more.
Well, as we saw yesterday, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that is certainly the case for both of these clubs this season. Orient spend almost as many days in the bottom three as the top six. Charlton also had to take their medicine in the bottom half of the table in the opening months of the season, but here they are on a sunlit day at Wembley, fighting for a place in the Championship. This the biggest game for two London rivals for many, many years. And it's Charlton Athletic who will get the game underway in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks. Orient in their chain strip of all grey with black trim. And they are defending the goal away to our left in the first half. Orient have not been in the second tier since 1982. The opportunity is there for them and also for Charlton. And on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2, the League One playoff final is underway. The penultimate match of what has been a season of so many twists and turns in a playoff weekend which has already had more than its fair share. And we wait to see how this game plays out today as Charlton try and build down the right-hand side, but it's overhit and it's gone behind. And Josh Keeley, one of a number of loanees in the Orient team, will take the goal kick, and the sunshine is bright once again. And it always seems, Scott, at this time of year, Wembley's always hot. But with that rain early today, it is very, very humid today.
I think it's the law, isn't it? Whenever there's big Wembley finals, it has to be really warm.
Well, it rained yesterday, but it was also
that's
warm.
True. Yeah. And again, that's another thing where, you know, the humidity. You're already nervous going into this type of game. It's the biggest game of your whole season. 10 months, 11 months with pre-season. It's all on this now. Suddenly, in the week, you try and just feel pretty cool about it. In the morning, you wake up and you think, wow, this is it, here it's come. You can't wait for it to start. You're already a little bit nervous. And then you have to deal with these type of conditions as well. So again, so much of it, especially elite, well, in life, not just in football, professional football, is about what goes on between the ears. And the players that are able to handle it are the team that will take them up. It sounds simple to say, but it's got so many different reasons why Charlton can keep a clean sheet, Orient can score, and vice versa down the other end. The players that are able to keep themselves and realise it's just another game will go on and win this.
And all 3 meetings this season were settled in added time, so it could be a very long afternoon here with extra time and penalties if necessary. We played nearly 2 minutes, it's 0-0. It's a throw-in for Orient on this near side, and Ethan Galbraith, who scored their penalty to win the shootout against Stockport, plays it forward, and in pursuit on the edge of the penalty area was Kalman, but in the end it's tidied up by Charlton and cleared away up towards the halfway line. It was calm defending initially on the edge of the penalty area from Kane Ramsey, maybe slightly too calm, but it's now gathered by Will Mannion.
Well, it was brilliant defending from him. And let's not forget what happened in the semi-final second leg, where it was quite clearly first goal wins it. And Wickham had a wonderful chance, and he made a double block to help his side keep that clean sheet and go and win the game. And there he's come across, and what was a very important, first of all, a shoulder to shoulder, then composed to play it out.
Well, great noise sweeping around Wembley at the moment from both sets of supporters, and it's really good to see a game in the 3rd tier of English football, albeit a Wembley final with so many fans here as Orient try and break forward. It was tricky feet on the halfway line from Dan Ajayi, and he has been hooked down, and Andrew Kitchen, the referee, says cut it out right at the start. It was Lloyd Jones who was rather caught on the wrong side, and it was a heavy challenge from him in the early moments of a playoff final.
Well, he'll know that Dan Ajayi is such a good player, very strong, very quick, very skillful. He's got away with that one, Lloyd Jones.
No card.
Charlton's player of the year. He's been superb, he really, really has, but that was a lunge to stop an attack from Leyton Orient, and he really should have been booked.
Free kick on the far side for Leyton Orient. James Donnelly, who of course scored from close to the halfway line against Manchester City in the FA Cup, flights it high into the penalty area. It bounces all the way through to Matty Godden, who clears it long downfield up towards the halfway line, looking for Campbell, but it's now gathered by Josh Keeley, wearing all pale green, the Orient goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. A long ball forward again, looking for the pace of Ajayi, but it's over his head, and it will bounce all the way through and behind, and it will be a goal kick to Charlton. And Orient, known as one of the best footballing sides in the division, but in the early stages here they're looking to go long to try and get Ajayi in behind.
Yeah, and it looks like Nathan Jones has kind of seen that as well, because it's very much a 5 at the back, with Connor Coventry just sitting in front. And you can see without the ball Charlton want 5, with the ball Thierry Small pushes on and becomes one of the 3 with Tyrese Campbell on the left. But yeah, defensively Charlton will make sure that they don't concede that early goal.
But now an opportunity for the early ball delivered into the penalty area here, and it was swept in initially by Josh Edwards and sliced away on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton. Edwards, one of the wing-backs, and as Scott was saying, he was tucked in and rather deep in the opening moments, but he does have the ability to spring forward on this near side. 6 assists from him so far this season. The long throw is cleared away and then kept alive. Doherty on the far side, now the right, twisting and turning away from Ajayi, and then the crossing from Coventry's deep, almost fell for Gillespie, but it's guided away towards this near side. Campbell looks to win the ball back, played forward to him by Galbraith, and in the end Galbraith with the challenge. Campbell goes down looking for a free kick, but nothing given, and in the end it's a goal kick to Orient.
Yeah, it wasn't a free kick, it was just a shoulder to shoulder. Tyrese Campbell went down, but that's where he wants to kind of peel off on the left hand side of Matty Godden. And certainly Galbraith, I mean, really is the number 10, he's playing right back. He's certainly intelligent enough to do that. He'd want to push up as much as he can. On the ball, very skillful, as you'd imagine with the 10. And I also would imagine that Nathan Jones would have said, look, get at him defensively, because that's not what his natural position is.
And Orient, who have chopped and changed defensively in the closing weeks of the season, very much a back four here. Omar Beckles is down momentarily. The ball was hit long downfield by Brown, looking for the pace over the top again of Adjai, but in the end it was overhit. But play will be brought back because Omar Beckles may require some treatment here.
Yeah, it's been a reasonably open game without too many chances. Goalkeepers haven't been tested yet, but we talk about the nerves, and I haven't really seen many nerves, to be honest with you. Both teams trying to play the way they possibly can, certainly the way their managers have asked them to. We just haven't quite yet had that shot on target yet.
7 minutes played, 0-0 in the Sky Bet League One playoff final on the home of the EFL. Talksport 2, a place in the Championship awaiting the winners here at Wembley today, as Brown hooks it forward for Orient again. Adjai quickly challenged on this near side by Gillespie. Adjai going down. Richie Wellens with a partial appeal for a free kick, but nothing given, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton on this near side. They won both of the league meetings, both in added time, and the game at Brisbane Road saw Charlton score twice very late on, and I think that was really a turning point in their season.
Absolutely. There's a couple of turning points just before Christmas when they really started to go on that good run.
Now a high ball into the penalty area towards the far post from Edwards, but it's cleared away, and then once again a Charlton player goes down, or rather an Orient player goes down looking for a free kick. It was Ollie O'Neill, but Andrew Kitchen allowing play to continue.
Yeah, but that second point, as you said.
And here's another ball for Galbraith, was just caught out there by the pace of Campbell, and that forced Keeley to come outside his penalty area and clear downfield. And now Galbraith again for Orient on this near side. The route back to goal is cut off by Godden, but Galbraith does well to play the ball in field towards Beckles, but now it's been given away, and Campbell can come forward for Charlton on this near side, but double coverage, Beckles and Galbraith, and they come away with the ball, and Galbraith with an excellent ball forward, and now the opportunity for Brown to break forward towards the halfway line for Orient, to now gather by Adjai on the right hand side of the penalty area. He tries to get around the back, a low ball in towards the near post, and it's cleared away by Gillespie, and Orient, after a lightning counter-attack, have a throw-in by the corner flag on this near side.
Right, I'll finish what I was going to say. Definitely, I agree with you. That was the second turning point, coming back from 1-0 down. But I love it because we're not able to get out because it's going end to end now. Again, we still haven't quite had that shot on target, but Charlton going down one end. Brilliant pass from Galbraith, as you say. Brown with that really good run, foraging run into the box. And now we've got a really good attack possible for Leyton Orient.
Long throw from Curry in towards the near post. A gaggle of bodies meet it, and it bobbles behind, and the game's first corner kick has been given to Leyton Orient. Not too many Charlton players around that convinced by that decision, but the final touch was off Josh Edwards. He claims he was also fouled, but it will be a set piece here for Orient. Charlton have been one of the most proficient set piece teams in both attack and defence in League One this season, but having to defend here. But the corner kick delivered in by Donnelly will just be delayed as the referee sorts out something at the far post. In fact, a good deal going on inside the 6-yard area.
We get this every single game, don't we? The referee, almost the first or second set piece, stops it. Just tell them both in the dressing room beforehand, I'm watching out for you. First little tug, I'll give a penalty or foul the other way.
Donnelly with the corner kick for Orient on this near side. High to the far post, safe hands though from Will Mannion. And he looked for the early release, and in the end he bolted out to Small on the halfway line, and Thierry Small's got pace to burn already at midway inside the Orient half, down the right hand side, further on towards Campbell. No flag for now. Campbell gathers by the corner flag. He'll twist and turn away from the challenge on the far side, and now Charlton will think about the cross, but in the end Orient have all the areas covered in the centre, so it's back into the centre of the back three, and Gillespie now wide towards this near side, and it's pinged downfield, high looking for Godden. Beckles though rising to head the ball away, but Doherty now has it for Charlton in the sunshine on this near side. He's just bumped and balled towards the corner flag, and the challenge comes in from Sean Clare, and it will bounce behind off Doherty, and it will be a goal kick. And this game is certainly being played like a local derby at the moment. 11 minutes played and it's still 0-0.
It's a great pace from both these teams, and again we haven't had that shot on target as yet, but if it carries on like this, then the game will open up even more, because there's no way these sets of players will be able to continue playing with this type of intensity.
Clare with a back pass towards Keeley, lofted high, and then Doherty will nod it back. Gillespie had a good handful of Ajay shirt as he jumped there, but he wins the header, and it's quickly played down the line by Edwards for Campbell. Godden in the centre, may just have been offside when the ball was played, but it's headed away anyway by Curry, and then Coventry wins it back for Charlton, and Small on the far side, but he shows too much of that to Curry, who's able to twist and turn and clear, and now Ollie O'Neill can come forward for Orient over the halfway line in the welcome shade on the far side, back into the sunshine, but the pass forward was just behind Brown, but he now wins it back, and Galbraith can come forward down the right, and it was a cross-come shot through the 6-yard area and well wide in the end. And with 12 minutes played on Talksport 2, it is still Charlton 0, Orient 0.
Yeah, it's good football actually there from Leyton Orient, and Galbraith, that's exactly what he can do. He's not your typical right back, but very good on the ball. Nice little 1-2. Didn't really, I mean, it was sort of a shot and a cross, but I think more of a shot, and he's not going to score from there, so a bit of a waste in the end, but just shows how well they can counter if they want to, Leyton Orient.
Richie Wellens in the dark grey t-shirt, arms folded on the edge of the Orient technical area, now barks out some words towards the fourth official, David Webb, after a free kick is given against his team. A Charlton player just down one of the central defenders. In fact, it's Greg Doherty who is down midway inside the Charlton half. Andrew Kitchen just giving him a moment and checking he's okay. Doherty was caught by a flailing arm there in an aerial duel with Jordan Brown, but no free kick given.
No, you can't really give anything to that as such. I think he's definitely put his arm out there, but these type of things happen. It's perhaps could have given a foul, but certainly not a yellow card. And there's good battles all over the pitch that we're seeing, aren't we? In midfield, out wide, strikers up against their central defenders. Fascinating game so far.
Mannion with the free kick, long and high up towards the edge of the Orient penalty area. Cleared on the far side as far as Gilbert, and now further forward looking for Small, but it's cleared away by Jack Curry, who is another loanee in the Orient team from Oxford United, hoping to join them or join his parent club back in the Championship next season, as he allows the ball to drift out of play on the far side, and it will be a throw-in for Leyton Orient, a team who were in the bottom three at the start of December, but since then only Birmingham, the champions by some distance, have picked up more wins and more points, and Charlton, another Renaissance side in the second half of the season as well. There was pressure on Nathan Jones around Christmas time, with Charlton languishing in the bottom half of the table, but since then something clicked, and they have been a team who weren't too far away from automatic promotion in the end. A couple of heavy defeats at Peterborough and Wrexham in the closing weeks of the season really did for them, as Brown plays it forward now, looking for Kelman, who's been quiet so far, but maybe that's when he's dangerous.
Yeah, look, I think defenders are on top, but I just feel Leyton Orient look as if they can be very dangerous on the counter. Charlton want to get forward, but then if they lose the ball with a good little one-touch, two-touch play, Leyton Orient feel like they're not a million miles away from creating that opportunity we're still waiting for from one of these two teams.
A high bouncing ball on this near side, Donnelly challenging for it, but got right underneath it. Gillespie able to clear for Charlton. Now Coventry out muscling Clare, And it's brought over the halfway line by Gilbert, wide towards the right-hand side. Small making the run inside the fullback, but Curry recovers well. And Keeley with a lunge manages to avoid the corner kick, but Charlton have it back on the far side with Gilbert again.
Yeah, well done, Jack Curry. We know that Thierry Small is very, very quick, and the ball perhaps inside him wasn't played as well as it should have been. He defended it really well, the fullback. But that's what Charlton need to do. Either play the ball in behind for Tyrese Campbell on one side and Thierry Small on the other, or give the ball to feet and let them take them on one-on-one. Thierry Small's such a skillful player, Tyrese Campbell too. At the moment, you're right, both strikers not really been given quality service as yet, but that's what Charlton need to do for sure.
Well, Charlton so good defensively this season. 20 clean sheets, which is a club record they've equalled, and on the other 3 occasions they were promoted. As they want a free kick now, as Campbell believes he was wrestled to the ground by Beckles on the edge of the penalty area, but nothing given. And Orient will try and build again on the far side, and it's clipped forward looking for Curry, but it's over his shoulder. Also is beyond Kane Ramsey and behind, and it will be a goal kick for Charlton. Of course, we're also covering the final day of the Premier League season on the Talksport network today. On Talksport at 4 o'clock, Manchester United against Aston Villa. Here on Talksport 2, commentary of Newcastle against Everton, and Talk Radio will bring you Fulham against Manchester City. Adrian Durham will have all the goals as they go in on Talksport, live from the City Ground. Key game there between Forest and Chelsea. And the TalkSport app will bring you the games at Southampton, Tottenham, Ipswich and Bournemouth in full. Download the TalkSport app and go to the live commentary section to make your choices throughout the day. And of course, we're back here tomorrow, the final game of the EFL season. Walsall against Wimbledon, the League Two playoff, with Ian Danta and Chris Awelamo, as Charlton play a high ball into the Orient penalty area. Beckles with a header which puts Ajay under pressure, and all he can do is hook the ball away on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton with 18 minutes played. 0-0, and very little between these two sides at the moment. Josh Edwards again will look to hurl this ball high into the penalty area. And it's Godden who makes the run towards the far post, but Beckles rises to head the ball away. Ramsey nodding it back towards Edwards. He's got Campbell in support, but it's a high ball back in. Beckles is there again, clears as far as Doherty. Doherty challenged though by Clare, and as a result Orient have now got the opportunity to break again with Donnelly down the centre. Kelman peels away to the left. Also Curry is forward in this attack. Now O'Neill coming back inside towards Donnelly. Back towards O'Neill again, but it's blocked inside the penalty area. A really good challenge by Ramsey, not for the first time in this playoff series, and it's cleared away downfield.
Really good play from Leyton Orient. That's why you see the class of JB Donnelly, a little 1-2. And yet again, what a wonderful block from Kane Ramsey. We obviously don't know. But, that could be as good as a goal. It certainly was in the semi-final. He's done it twice already today now.
The Charlton attack comes to a fairly rapid end on the far side. Gilbert playing the ball straight out of play. And the pace is just beginning to drop after a rather frenetic opening 15 minutes or so. I think both teams have had a look at one another. And now maybe the game is really starting to begin with regular patterns of play, as Beckles heads across to the far side, the Orient left, and hoofs the ball towards the supporters in the front row of the seats there, and Charlton have a throw-in once again.
Yeah, the stats say there's been 58% possession for Charlton, 42 Leyton Orient, but I just feel that transition, that quick counter-attack that Leyton Orient have, they've already shown on 2 or 3 occasions. The Charlton midfield are not really there because they've pushed on, so that's something that Charlton need to be careful about when they're attacking. But still at this moment not been able to create a chance. Well, either side, has it? It's been 2 shots from Leyton Orient, but neither on target. Expected goals, 0 from Charlton, 0.01 from Leyton Orient.
And they have a free kick now on the halfway line. Nathan Jones is the more animated manager, but that's the case at any game, at any stage of the season, in any sort of venue. Bright sunshine here once again as Edwards plays it down the line on this near side, the Charlton left, but it's cut out by Galbraith, and his abilities from right back have been a real feature in the game so far. And it's quickly forward to Donnelly down the right hand side. He comes in field, maybe set up for the curler, but I think he was trying to pick out Kelman at the far post. It's cleared away, but Donnelly has it again. He's got Brown in support, but it's back towards Galbraith. High cross towards the far post. Kelman had come in field. Had he stayed where he was, I think he would have been unmarked for a finish.
Yeah, it was a ball to the far post, and no one was blocking him. No one was trying to make sure that the cross couldn't come in. So he looked up, Galbraith. He should have seen the run, but you're right. If Kelman had held his run at the back post, then he would have been there. I mean, Kane Ramsey, very good defender. We've already seen today. I just feel, again, we're still waiting for that clear-cut chance, but Leyton Orient looked dangerous.
Now Godden chasing a long ball forward, manages to hook it back towards Gilbert. Under pressure, he's got Campbell in support now to the left. Charlton can now get more red shirts into the penalty area. Campbell goes for a curler, but it's blocked by Galbraith at the near post. Back towards Campbell again now. Campbell showing too much of that to Galbraith, but wins it back. Now he's got the opportunity to deliver a cross. Both he and Galbraith crumple to the turf, and Andrew Kitchen sees a free kick given to Orient, and an opportunity there for Charlton comes to nothing.
Well, look, I mean, first of all, that was really good defending from Galbraith, and we talked about how he's not a natural right back, but he's certainly playing like one at the moment. But it's not a free kick. It's just a coming together of two players and let it go. So, look, Tyrese Campbell, at this moment in time, he's had the ball 3 or 4 times, tried to take on players. It's not quite happened for him. He's got to just keep telling himself, look, just keep doing what you're doing. I only need to get lucky once and suddenly I'm in. At this moment in time, Leyton Orient defending very well.
Well, Charlton have won all of the playoff finals they've reached. Back in the first season, they had to win a game against Leeds to stay in the top flight, and Peter Shirtliff was their legend, scoring twice in extra time in a replay at St Andrews after Leeds were ahead in the second period of extra time. Shirtliff came up with the goals. Then, of course, they beat Sunderland in the game that everyone remembers. And then they got back into the Championship in 2019 here. Patrick Bauer scoring right at the end of 90 minutes. On that occasion, Sunderland scored first and never really seized the initiative, unlike yesterday.
So what you're saying then, whenever Charlton's involved in a playoff final, we're in for excitement towards the end?
Yes, I think we probably are. But Orient, though, have always reached a final when they played in the playoffs, but they've not won it since 1989 when they beat Wrexham, when it was played over 2 legs, and the second leg was at Brisbane Road. Free kick for Charlton, played down the line by Gillespie. I think he was looking for Godden to peel away and find space in the penalty area, but it was overhit and it's gone behind, and there was a touch too much adrenaline pumping through that through ball from Gillespie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's such a difficult ball to play anyway. It's a dead ball, it's a straight ball, and it's got to be perfectly weighted. So you're asking your centre half to do that. Just play the percentages there, get it in the box and try and win the knockdowns.
You're listening to Charlton against Leyton Orient in the EFL League One playoff final, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in, delivered to your door with McDelivery. As it's cleared downfield by Josh Keeley once again, the young Irishman on loan from Spurs. It's been some season for him, 16 clean sheets and a last-minute equaliser in the FA Cup against Oldham. If he does something similar here, they'll be talking about it for years. Headed away for Charlton by Gillespie, but onto the chest of Beckles. 24 minutes played here at Wembley on Talksport 2, 0-0. Charlton's game changers have rather been snuffed out so far as Donnelly loses out now, and it's quickly switched wide by Gilbert towards the far side on the on-rushing Ramsey. He's got Small in space in the shadows, wide on the far side, but the ball in field is cut out by Curry, who's had a good start to the game. He's dealt with the twin threat of Ramsey and Small very well. And Orient will now try and break over the halfway line. Donnelly clips it over the top, and there's an opportunity for Kelman to chase, but it's hammered away by Jones, high into those Charlton fans on the far side, and it will be a throw-in for Orient, level with the edge of the Charlton penalty area.
Yeah, Jack Curry again did really well. Thierry Small is a big talent, and the ball just in behind him, positioning himself as a fullback perfectly, and then having the composure just to pass it out.
Clare with a high ball forward, looking for Ajayi, but beyond him and straight out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Charlton. Orient 41 days in the top 6 this season, 38 days in the bottom 3, which just shows the playoffs always give you an opportunity. They finished 7 wins and 2 draws this season. They won 6 in a row, and they were all must-win games in the closing weeks of the season to finish in the top 6. Charlton with only 1 loss in their final 10 games, winning 7 of those. That was at Wrexham on the night when Wrexham got promotion. So we arguably have the 2 form teams at the end of the season, and that really is what counts in the playoffs. People will always feel they are unfair if you lose, but for clubs like this, the playoffs have given their seasons a new lease of life, and had it not been for the playoffs, things can be very different. Managers can move on, players can move on if you don't have that carrot.
No, look, it's one of the very best inventions that football has done. It keeps the season alive. I remember when Aston Villa were in the Championship, on March the 1st, they were 13th, so the bottom half of the Championship. Sneaked into the playoffs, went up, and look where they are now.
Yeah, they brought in Jack Grealish and won 10 in a row. Just shows things can change. 2 years ago, I was here on this day, commentating on the League Two final. Carlisle won it, beat Stockport County, and look where those 2 clubs are now.
Absolutely. It just keeps the season alive for so many sides, doesn't it? And of course, most importantly, the fans.
Galbraith on this near side. He's had a good start to the game, and he's found Ajayi. Ajayi just about keeps the ball in play somehow. Seemed to have lost control. Now he can bring it forward down the Orient right, plays it back towards Galbraith in a standing position, looking for movement inside the penalty area. None was forthcoming, but it's been given away by Gillespie. And here is Ajayi again now. He can break towards the penalty area. Kelman in support. The cross in, though, swirled towards that near post, just beyond the on-rushing Jordan Brown. And it's gone behind for a goal kick with 28 minutes played on Talksport 2, and it's still 0-0.
That's a wonderful ball in. First of all, Gillespie, because the ball's just bounced, he thought, right, I'll take a touch, but it was a heavy touch. Leyton Orient won the ball back. It's a wonderful ball in swinging ball from Ajayi. Someone's got to be reading that.
Goal kick, which Will Mannion will take. 15 clean sheets for him this season. And his return to the side in mid-February really coincided with their revival. Now Tyrese Campbell heading towards goal down the centre, and he crumples under the challenge of Romani Edmonds-Green, and it will be a free kick here for Charlton in a really good area, about 25 yards out, just right of centre.
It's a great opportunity. Again, it's not really happened for Tyrese Campbell so far out wide, but he's in the middle, he's running at him. They know each other, of course. With Edmonds-Green being former Charlton, and he just nips the ball past. It's a definite foul. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, strange day for Romani Edmonds-Green. He was a Charlton player until February, so I suppose he would have been in this game somewhere or another. But it's a free kick. Gilbert is over this. Ramsey is over this. Who was your favourite?
I'd like to see a fullback being a fullback myself, but I'm not so sure it will be. I fancy Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert could hit this with the right foot. There's an inviting gap on that side of the goal as well at the moment left by Josh Keeley. Every single Orient player is back defending here, apart from Charlie Kelman, and he is pretty deep anyway. Macaulay Gillespie is also sizing this one up, and it's going to be Gillespie who hits it brilliantly, and Charlton Athletic score a wonderful goal from Macaulay Gillespie, the central defender, with a delicate touch, curling that ball around the wall and into the near post area, and 40,000 Charlton fans are delirious with celebration. They can see a route back to the Championship. Smoke bombs heading off all over the place. It is Charlton 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Well, it's an unbelievable strike. It was close enough, it was central enough to say someone's got to have a go. And boy, what a strike that was. Talked about how good a keeper Josh Keeley is, but he can't stop that.
He left that gap, didn't he?
Well, he did, but he has to. He's whipped the ball around Gillespie, and he still feels perhaps Keeley should be getting there. And maybe Keeley himself will think just that. But the Charlton fans don't care. The Charlton players don't care. It's a great strike. And I'll tell you someone else who doesn't care, Nathan Jones.
Well, for all sorts of reasons, this now becomes a very, very difficult game for Leyton Orient, because Charlton Athletic, with the lead this season, have been a very tough nut to crack. But here is an opportunity for Clare to charge forward very quickly. Wide to the far side and O'Neill, back in field to Brown. Around half a dozen red smoke bombs have been let off by the Charlton fans behind that goal, and they're still smoking away as Charlton have to do some defending here. But the ball forward for Magi doesn't find the run of Galbraith into the penalty area, and it's gone behind, and it will be a goal kick. And with 13 minutes to play in the first half, Charlton lead here by a goal to nil. Macaulay Gillespie with his 6th goal of the season, promoted at Plymouth a couple of years ago from this level, and now he has given Charlton the platform to head back to the Championship.
It's not bad when your centre-half can step up and do that, is it? I still feel maybe Josh Keeley be feeling that could he have got there? He got fingertips to it, but I'm telling you now, that is a great strike, because it's gone round the wall, not over, but then it's really curled away from Keeley, and he's done it with pace as well. It's a wonder strike, and it's one of those games where we're trying to sort of say, how can we get that first shot on target? And it's going to be a bit of brilliance, and that's exactly what happened. Well done to Tyrese Campbell for winning the free kick in the first place, but wow, Macaulay Gillespie, still a long, long way to go, and we know what happened yesterday. Even if it goes 1-0 at half-time, there's no doubt about it, Leyton Orient are still very much in this game, but what a crucial goal it could prove to be.
Well, there's a player down for Charlton on the edge of the penalty area, which has given both managers the opportunity to head in and have one or two words with players. In particular, Richie Wellens pulled every single player in, and I wonder if Charlton might have to make a change here. It's Alex Gilbert, I think, who went down on the far side, and he's heading towards the touchline here. Whether it's just a case of him coming off to then head back onto the field of play, but the way the medical team are talking, it may be slightly more serious than that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like he's going to be okay, but they do certainly have substitutes to come off the bench. Obviously, Luke Berry, if he was 100% fit, probably would have started, but there's also Corey Anderson who's come on and done a really good job in that position as well. So there's certainly options for Nathan, but it looks like Alex is going to be okay.
Well, Gillespie will be coming back on soon, and we have 11 minutes of normal time to play in the first half here on Talksport 2. Charlton 1, Leyton Orient 0. Of course, Orient came from behind in the first leg of their semi-final against Stockport. They then held the lead for a long time at Edgeley Park before being pegged back and eventually winning on penalties. And Charlton, who have spent 8 of their last 9 seasons in League One, now have the opportunity to head back to the Championship. They've won their last 3 finals at Wembley. Orient have lost their previous 3, including the playoffs here at this level against Rotherham in 2014, when they were 2 goals up and eventually lost on penalties. As Godden now looks to sprint away from the challenge of Edmonds Green on the far side. Godden's away down the right, hammers the cross into the penalty area. Campbell was the only target. It bounces way beyond him, and it's straight out of play, and it will be a throw into Orient. Well, Tyrese Campbell had a key role in the first half yesterday, and Tyrese Campbell and other ones also had a key role in this game.
Absolutely. He didn't quite score this particular version of Tyrese Campbell, but he certainly won that free kick. And at Leyton Orient have to be careful. They have to make sure they keep their heads. That yes, they've conceded the first goal, and the Charlton fans are certainly letting everyone know what the score is, but they need to keep playing the game, keep passing. Charlton, though, as you just saw with Matty Godden, the way he turned and ran away from Edmonds Green, he overhit the cross, but I think Charlton could play on the counter-attack now. And when you get that first goal, you're in control of the tempo of the game. So you've already alluded to with the clean sheets that Charlton have had this season. They can say, right, we'll make ourselves solid, but there's no point in just sitting back from here on in and inviting pressure. They still have to try and get the likes of Thierry Small and Tyrese Campbell and Matty Godden on the ball.
And in the 29 previous games this season, when Charlton have scored the opening goal, they've won 28 of them and drawn the other. But Orient will feel they've been coming from behind in the bigger picture all season. They were 5 points adrift of the playoffs with 5 games to play, but found a way. And they need to find a way here, trailing by a goal to nil. Ajay having his shirt pulled by Gillespie, and Ajay manages to skate away from the challenge down the right-hand side. Breaks into the penalty area now. It's quickly covered by Brown, but Ajay plays it back towards Galbraith. Infield towards Brown again, and Edwards may need some support here. Ajay with the cross, and coming a long way to claim was Will Mallion, but 2 telescopic arms, and he managed to hold on, and he quickly bowls it out to Thierry Small for Charlton, and he quickly moves infield from the right-hand side now. Charlton right on top in this game at the moment. Doherty with a precise ball wide to this near side, and Josh Edwards, and the Charlton fans in great voice away to our right. The Orient numbers rather quiet, rather subdued, away to our left. Outnumbered, and at the moment being outsung, which is understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. That goal has changed everything in terms of the complexion of the game. As I say, Leyton Orient just need to keep calm, keep doing what they know they can be good at. But it's Charlton who can just pass and slow everything down if they need to. Just hit a long ball up to Matty Godden, it was over the top and gave the ball away. They've got to just keep the ball and let Leyton Orient run. It's hot, it's humid, it's a big pitch, and when you're chasing a game against a team that is keeping the ball, very, very difficult to get back into it. That's what Charlton need to do, but Leyton Orient need to get hold of the ball themselves. Get Ajay on the ball. He's looked the most dangerous player so far for them.
Now Clare with a good ball forward to find Curry, who comes in field from the left. There's space for O'Neill out wide, but Small quickly wins it back. Matt Godden at times has looked rather isolated as the Charlton striker, a long way from both Campbell and Doherty playing behind him, but Charlton are one of the fittest teams in League One, and at the moment I think they're just happy to have what they hold. That back three has become a back five once again as we close in on half-time. 38 minutes played, leading by a goal to nil, and now Campbell will control a high bouncing ball on his thigh on this near side for Charlton. 3 grey shirts around him, a clever ball in field though to Doherty, back towards Campbell again. He can break into the penalty area. Godden waits at the near post for the cross with the outside of the right foot, lacked any menace, and it pops up into the arms of Josh Keeling.
It's actually really good defending from Omar Beckles. We know that everybody knew Tyrese Campbell wants to come in on his right foot, open the goal up and have a shot, but he didn't allow him to do that, and in the end he's trying to just with the outside of his right foot cross it in. There's no way he was going to do it with the angle, and again the position of Beckles, and it goes straight to the keeper's hands. Good defending.
Well, we've got the 2 highest scoring strikers in the calendar year in the country here today, Charlie Kelman and Matt Godden, but neither have really had a sniff of an opportunity so far.
Do you know what though, the class of these 2 strikers, you know, give you an example with Matty Godden. He hadn't had a shot on target before that winner he got late on against Wycombe on Thursday night. So these strikers are proper strikers. They'll work hard, they'll try and do their best, but they'll also realise that when the chance comes, whenever it does come, they'll be ready for it. And Kelman certainly has to be ready for his side.
Connor Coventry for Charlton. Back towards Gillespie, the goal scorer. Maybe an unlikely goal scorer. It was another central defender, Patrick Bauer, who scored the winning goal here back in the 2019 final against Sunderland, and that came with the final kick of the match, as Charlton have to do some defending here. Ajay now down the right-hand side for Orient, goes for a curler, but it spins off the head of Gillespie and behind for a corner. And as long as Leyton Orient keep giving the ball to players like Dan Adjai, they will always have an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he was allowed where Tyrese Campbell wasn't allowed to come inside in his best foot and open the goal up. He was. Unfortunately, Charlton got enough numbers back for it to be a deflection.
Donnelly with the corner on this near side, high towards the far post and headed towards goal. And it was Edmonds Green against his former club, but it was always heading wide. And it will be a goal kick with 4 minutes to play in the first half here on Talksport 2 at Wembley. Big crowd here today, around 65,000. And at the moment, the 40,000 Charlton fans are enjoying themselves with their team leading by a goal to nil.
Yeah, they're absolutely loving it, aren't they? And you can look at it, the sea of red covering the whole stand. Over 40,000, and they could have sold more for sure. They realise how important this game is for their side, for their club, and they're trying to get behind them at every single moment.
Well, they've averaged around 15,000 this season, which of course in League One is excellent, but to be honest, Scott, in the Valley, 27,000 built for the Premier League. You need 20,000 in there to really generate an atmosphere.
Yes,
don't you
do. Yeah, and at times it's not even been 15,000 in the last few seasons, and it has made it very, very empty. But Nathan's done something special this season.
Now Gillespie hooking it forward over the top now, looking for Godden, beaten to it in the air by Beckles, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton on the far side. And Charlton have gone from conceding late equalisers in the FA Cup against Cray Valley Paper Mills to playing here at Wembley in front of 40,000 of their fans at the moment, heading back to the Championship, which at the start of the season and maybe midway through this season looked to be a pretty long shot. But Charlton try and build again down their right, but they give the ball away. Clare was fouled, and it will be a free kick for Orient. And they've not really been in the game since conceding that goal, as Galbraith tries to bring it forward now on this near side, and they've shut him down very effectively.
Yes, they have. It's amazing just psychologically what a goal does. One to lift one side, another just to really deflate another. I still think the runs of Jamie Donnelly in behind when they've got the ball deep, very, very dangerous. Something Charlton need to watch out for, but Ajay is their match winner as it stands.
And here is Galbraith again, wide towards this near side, and Donnelly's given the room to come inside, and he's managed to pick out the run of O'Neill, who turns inside the area, pokes it across, cleared partially away, kept alive. Ajay with a shot into the ground, bobbles up, and it's cleared by Gillespie. Now Brown, but a square ball from him is cut out by the backtracking Godden. He can turn and just hammer the ball to safety, and Nathan Jones is screaming at his team to push up and try and compress that space.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're just sitting back and not necessarily consciously playing for 1-0, but certainly subconsciously. Can't afford to do that. Leyton Orient do have enough good players, enough creative players to do something, and nearly created an opportunity there, but again, good defending, but it's too deep. 12 yards out, shot. If they hadn't have blocked it, then Mannion wouldn't have had much chance to react.
And Jamie Donnelly, another Spurs loanee in this Orient team, he's trying to get on the ball at every occasion, but it's Sean Clare now, who was with Charlton for a couple of years, fairly recently in League One. One or two boos when he's on the ball from the Addicks fans. Headed away by Gillespie, and then nodded forward quickly by O'Neill, looking for Galbraith, and Kalman can't fasten onto that. And Charlton will bring the ball away again. And at the moment, as we tick towards the final 30 seconds of the first half, Charlton in control of this game, even though it's only 1-0. Edwards charging forward now on the overlap, has got support from Campbell. Campbell is being held onto by Beckles, but Campbell shrugs him off, and now Doherty midway inside the Orient half looks to Small down the right hand side. Godden waits in the centre. Small comes back in field. Gilbert now. It was a cross-come shot, more of a shot in the end, but it swirls over the top, and we're into a minimum of 2 minutes added time.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nothing in the end from Alex Gilbert. I think the pressure from the Leyton Orient players just panicked him a bit. A really good strength from Tyrese Campbell. I mean, Omar Beckles is playing well against him, but he was holding him off to the point where it would have been given a foul, but we were able to keep the ball. The ball came out to the right-hand side. Thierry Small played it inside. And Alex Gilbert, yeah, one or the other. Have a proper shot or just try and dink it in behind the defence.
Now Ajay on this near side, and Gillespie is touch tight to him, almost midway inside the Orient half, and as a result Beckles now will have to try and clear by the corner flag. He's closed down by Campbell, and it will be a throw-in for Orient. And one or two Orient players at the moment just beginning to look a bit leggy. I think half-time could maybe come at a good time for them, trailing by a goal to nil. And Richie Wellens, 17 years ago today, he was in the Doncaster team that beat Leeds in the League One playoff final. He also beat Orient going further back in a playoff final with Blackpool in the early days of his playing career. So he's had success on the field, now looking to bring it to Leyton Orient off the field. A Small comes forward again for Charlton. A great run in field, and he's managed to play in Godden, but the pass may be overhit. Godden, though, managing to keep the ball alive somehow, but no pace on the cross, and it's cleared away by Beckles.
Well, that's what Thierry Small can do with his pace, and he can come inside. He did overhit the ball. Godden did really well to keep it in, but Charlton now can afford to play on the counter-attack. They had 58% not that long ago. They're down to 46%, so clearly they're just sitting back, but he can't afford to sit back too long. Again, I just referred to yesterday. What that happened, Sheffield United 1-0 up at half-time. You know, need that second goal, Charlton.
Well, that is half-time, and it's the Charlton fans who rise to acclaim their team. Macaulay Gillespie with an outstanding free kick. 14 minutes before half-time, the only goal so far, curling the ball over the wall and beyond the desperate fingers of Josh Keeley. Orient have had their moments, but Will Mannion has not really been tested, and it's a big 15 minutes coming up for Richie Wellens in the Orient dressing room. At the moment, Charlton on their way back to the Championship. Half-time, Charlton Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Nigel, thank you very much indeed. So Charlton in control and ahead in this League One playoff final, and 45 minutes away from a place in the Championship. Scott Minto, if I keep you for just a moment, you don't often see,
as long as you like, Ollie, don't worry,
a free kick of that quality from a centre-back. What a goal that was from Macaulay Gillespie. But did Josh Keeley in the Orient goal leave a bit too much space to his left-hand side? Because Nigel called that before the free kick was even taken.
Yes, he did. He trusted his wall, and his wall didn't do anything wrong. And I think that Josh Keeley, once he's seen it where it's going, I think that the good goalkeeper that he is, the height that he's got, and he does get fingertips on it, will feel, and perhaps a lot of people will feel they should have got there. But if you watch that again, Ollie, honestly, the whip and the spin with the pace and the power that Macaulay Gillespie has put that on, I think it's one of those that seems gathers pace as it goes on, and whip as well, so it's curling even more away from him. I mean, the short answer is probably yes now, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'll go back to what you originally said there. You wouldn't expect Macaulay Gillespie to come out with that type of free kick, but he has, and it's been one of those halves where both teams, they've actually played pretty well, the teams, but they've in a way cancelled each other out. So therefore it is either a mistake or it was a bit of brilliance, and I'd like to say it's more of a bit of a brilliance than a mistake really with that goal.
I think you're right. I think it's actually as well the dip on the free kick. He has to get down so low, Keeley, to try and save that, and he ends up saving it into the net. In terms of Orient, from their perspective, you mentioned in commentary Dan Ajayi looked the most dangerous for them. Do you feel that they need to just target him a bit more on that right-hand side?
Yeah, I think so. I think when someone's having a good game, you know, whether they're your best player or not, but he is one of their best players, but when you know someone's having a good game and having a bit of joy, it's almost like when I was a fullback, if my winger was doing really well, I'd try and give him the ball as much as possible and then just stay away. If he's not really getting involved, I would try and bomb on and try and overlap and do the 2v1s. But when he is, and he is, doing so well on his own and coming inside, having shots, whipping in crosses and looking really dangerous, that whole midfield, the whole defence just need to get the ball out to him as much as possible. He looks really dangerous. Nigel's right, Charlie Kelman's not really had anything to do. He's not had sort of great service. But at the moment, to create that opportunity for Charlie, then Danajai has to be given the ball for sure. And we need to see a little bit more of Ollie O'Neill as well.
And interestingly, at the other end, as Orient try and chase the game, we know how creative the right-back Ethan Galbraith has been. He's been creative so far in this game, but that might give Tyrese Campbell a bit of joy down that left-hand side. We've already seen him making some decent runs down there, but as Galbraith has to push forward, that might provide some opportunities for Campbell and Charlton.
There is no doubt that Nathan Jones will be saying at some point at this half-time, listen guys, let's make sure we don't concede early, but Tyrese, they're going to come on. We know that Galbraith isn't that type of player anyway. He's going to naturally want to push on, especially when you're 1-0 down. The space will be there in behind for sure. Now, just a quick little story. I remember Alan Kirbishley's told me once or twice that back in '98, he said at half-time, he said, lads, he said, listen, we've got them. We'll just sit back and we'll counter-attack. He said, before he even came out for the second half, it was 1-1. so he said his tactics just didn't go how he wanted it to go. So my point is, it's 1-0. Leyton Orient are still very much in the game, but we know how strong defensively Charlton are.
Yeah, 27 years ago to the day, that playoff final, that ended with a Charlton win, and they lead here against Leyton Orient in the League One playoff final. 45 minutes away from a place in the second tier, and the second half comes next here on Talksport 2.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get reward points too. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
With a Travis Perkins trade account, you open the door to big trade deals every single month. Right through May, get Rectisol and Celotex 100ml PIR insulation boards for only £29 per sheet. Join the club and get this and other big trade deals this May with your trade account. Travis Perkins, doing what matters for the trade. All prices exclude VAT at 20%.
Oh man, I am so excited about the final.
Really? I thought you'd lost every playoff final since 1996.
Wow. I'll ignore that, thanks, Ava.
Here's something you shouldn't ignore. If you're travelling by train this spring bank holiday weekend, between the 24th and 26th of May, some journeys may be affected as we make improvements to the railway. Please check before you travel at nationalrail.co.uk/spring.
Ready, steady, the Toyotathon sale event is on! Race down to your nearest Toyota centre and save up to an extra £1,000 on a new Toyota. But hurry, deals must end 31st of May. The Toyotathon sale event is on. Offer valid on eligible new vehicle orders 1st to 31st of May and registered by 31st of July 2025. Retail customers only. T&Cs apply. See toyota.co.uk for details.
The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
Get unbeatable coverage of the business side of the beautiful game with Simon Jordan and Tesco Mobile for Business on Talksport. From Southampton to the North Stand, West Ham to Easter Road. Join the most well-connected man in football for an exclusive look inside the boardroom.
This is a long way from a done deal.
Simon Jordan's business briefing on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Small business or side hustle? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
Good afternoon, I'm Ollie Klink. We're at Wembley for the League One playoff final where Charlton currently lead Leyton Orient by a goal to nil. But it's also the final day of the Premier League season this afternoon, and there's still loads to play for when it comes to the final European positions. We still need to sort out who'll be playing in the Champions League, the Europa League, and potentially the Conference League as well next season. Coming up after us, we'll be live at St James's Park, one of 7 Premier League commentaries on Talksport. We're going to have you covered. Newcastle taking on Everton as the Magpies look to complete a sensational season, if you include that League Cup win as well by delivering Champions League football. They need to beat Everton to make sure. Faker Others, Adam Bridge and Troy Deeney will bring you that game here on Talksport 2 after we're done here. As well as that, we have matches on Talksport and Talk Radio. Check out your Talksport app, go to the matches part, and we'll bring you all of those games. But it's set to be an exciting final day.
There is tension. There is nerves.
Said in the beginning in July when we started that we're going to play the last game fighting for Champions League. We are delighted to be in this fight.
Back to Gibbs White, he finishes it. It's a perfect goal for Nottingham Forest.
Top 4, top 5. It's naturally that the target is to finish Champions League.
Cucurella in there! If they beat Nottingham Forest on the final day of the season, then they will qualify for the Champions League again. Kamara, lovely change of feet, left foot shot. Oh, what a fantastic goal!
Europe, you.
Oh, give it away to Isak. There's his goal. Alexander Isak.
You know, we've worked hard to get ourselves in this position now, and we have one game. We're at home, and we've got to do our jobs.
Marmouche coming forward, shooting at the edge of the area. Scores a wonderful goal. Manchester City go into the final weekend of the campaign, needing a result against Fulham.
I think anyway, Premier League away is always difficult. But yeah, we need to get result. I had the feeling that all of them they will win, so we have to take the point.
Yeah, very, very exciting stuff. We will have you covered on the Talksport network. On Talksport itself, it's Manchester United against Aston Villa with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. Villa needing to win and hope others above them drop points to secure their Champions League place for next season. Our top reporters will be across the country too. A massive game going on at the City Ground between Nottingham Forest and Chelsea in that race for the top 5. Over on Talk, Man City just need a point in order to ensure their place in the top 5 as they travel to Fulham. But after us, here on Talksport 2, we're going to be at St James's Park, and we can speak to our commentator for that game now, Adam Bridge. Adam, how are you?
Very good, Ollie. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in the northeast, and you know it could be a double celebration this weekend, couldn't it? After the success for Sunderland in the Championship playoff final yesterday, a chance for Newcastle to cement a place in the Champions League for next season.
Yeah, I'll make no secret of it. I am a Newcastle fan, as you well know, Adam. Just tell me it's all going to be fine, please. There's a couple of bits concerning me about this game, because you could say that Everton had their celebrations last week with that final day at Goodison Park. But if there will be one man on a mission to stop Newcastle United getting in the Champions League, it will be the Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, won't it?
Yep, former Sunderland man, of course, does everything in his power at every given opportunity to try and stop Newcastle scoring. Denied Anthony Gordon from the penalty spot when these sides met back in October. He's going to be on a massive high, I suspect, after yesterday as well. That is his kind of boyhood club in terms of Sunderland delivering what they did. Look, I think, have you got anything to worry about? The injuries are the worry really for Everton today, I would say. Obviously no Seamus Coleman, he went off after about 18 minutes last Sunday. Jared Branthwaite missing as well today, so we expect Michael Keane to probably come into the starting 11, and then at right back probably Ashley Young on what will be his final appearance for Everton too. So they have got issues defensively. Obviously Newcastle, a couple of injury doubts over Alexander Isak, who, as Eddie Howe said on Friday, hadn't trained with the group yet, but there was a big couple of days for him. Also the potential return today of Kieran Trippier as well. They would be welcome boosts and allow him to move back to that traditional back four that he likes to play with. I mean, the only thing I feel you have to worry about is, we saw what happened when Everton went to Forest. Everyone was thinking, great, that'll be Forest taking another step towards the Champions League. But David Moyes did a job there. He got them well set up defensively, and they nicked a goal on the break towards the end of the game. That, Ollie, for me, is the only worry today for Newcastle.
No, I certainly think it's a very, very tricky game. And you mentioned that game at Goodison Park too, a 0-0 draw, Gordon missing the penalty. It's a very tough game, and you know what the final day can be like. If that game ticks into the 70th minute, look, I'm probably being a bit of a nervous fan, but I don't agree with the idea that this is kind of job done already for Newcastle. They still need to get those 3 points. And you mentioned there the fitness of Alexander Isak, and that's going to be key, isn't it, Adam, if he's on that starting lineup? Because Newcastle's record without him is not great.
No, I mean, look, you've been in terrific form. I mean, since mid-December, only Liverpool have won more points. And you think you drop down as low as 12th in mid-December Newcastle. The run was fantastic. However, it's only 2 wins in the last 5. You look at the Arsenal game last week and you feel that actually, if Isak had been on the pitch, it may have been a different result. He is absolutely key. Callum Wilson, yes, he's had his injuries, but he's not scored here since last April and hasn't scored in the Premier League since last May. So you are a little bit lacking. Anthony Gordon's going through a bit of a dry spell as well. I think it's 10 games without a Premier League goal for him as well, following his sending off against Brighton, an injury last time out for England. So I understand your concern, but could you ask for any more on the final day of the season? You win and you qualify, in your hands, simple as that. A point would be enough if Forest and Chelsea draw and Villa fail to win at Manchester United, but I think Villa failing to win at Manchester United is not something you'd want to bank on. And Dan Burns just arrived down below looking very confident. Callum Wilson just walked past us here in the stand as well. So all the Newcastle players arriving there all seem in really good spirits.
Yeah, they'll be fine, won't they? What am I worried about? It'll be absolutely fine, Adam. Thank you very much indeed, Adam Bridge there, who will be your commentator for this game, which follows us here on Talksport 2, Newcastle against Everton in the Premier League. The teams are making their way back out, though, here in the League One playoff final. Charlton leading Leyton Orient by 1-0, and the Leyton Orient players, Scott Minto, making their way out a touch early. What do you think the message was from their manager, Richie Wellens, at half-time?
I think it's just tried to play a little bit more their own game, which, to be fair, at times they did. I thought Jamie Donnelly made some really good runs in behind. We spoke about Dan Ajayi as well and how dangerous he can be. I'd like to see Ollie O'Neill get a bit more involved and basically give more service to Charlie Kelman. But it did feel, and Nigel mentioned it on commentary, that when the goal went in, they kind of got deflated, got affected by it. Got to get back now. 45 minutes away. What are you going to do? You're going to play in League One, or you're going to play in the Championship?
That's a really good point. And also, from a Charlton perspective, you talked about those Kirbishley tactics back in 1998. Is that what Charlton should do here? Should they try and sit back and counter this Orient team?
I think there's ways and means of being without the ball. You can control games not having the ball, and you can be totally out of control. And I felt there was at times where they were dropping too deep. They need to push up a little bit more. Nathan was even saying it himself, get up. But you can't just sit back for 45 minutes and invite pressure. They will create chances, Leyton Orient. So they have to not just knock long balls for the sake of it. And again, sometimes they were doing it, giving the ball away. Try and play through the midfield if they can, but control the game, run them. This is a tiring pitch. These are tiring conditions. Make them tired.
Well, Charlton are back out on the pitch, and they are 45 minutes away as it stands from a place in the Championship. Let's rejoin your commentary team for the second half, the former Charlton and Chelsea defender Scott Minto, alongside your match commentator Nigel Adley.
Thank you, Ollie. No changes to either side at half-time, so the Charlton team, Mannion in goal, Ramsey, Gillespie and Jones, their back three, Small, Coventry, Doherty and Edwards in midfield, Gilbert in behind Campbell and Godden, Orient, Keeley in goal, the back four, Galbraith, Beckles, Edmonds, Green and Curry, Clare and Brown in the engine room with O'Neill, Donnelly and Ajayi in support of Kelman. And it's Orient in all grey, attacking the goal away to our left, which has all of the Orient supporters behind them. Charlton in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks. Two East London rivals, less than 9 miles apart, and both have had a relatively short journey to Wembley today, but the Metropolitan line back into London after this game will have a real mix of emotions, whatever happens. Someone will be celebrating and someone will be crying. That's what the playoffs do to you. As it's cleared downfield by Keeley for Charlton, and now gathered on this near side by Small, but the challenge comes in from Clare, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton. And Scott Minto, putting your allegiances aside, surely it's up to Charlton here to really try and take the initiative, get that second goal and kill it.
Yeah, but they don't want to be open at times when they did go for it quite early on in the first half. I felt that Leyton Orient transitioned really well themselves. Spoke about how Donnelly's a very clever player, Jay has got his pace. I think they want to try and get the second goal, but don't just go gung-ho.
Long throw looped in by Edwards into the penalty area. Beckles, who has missed nothing in the air so far, clears downfield again. Back infield to Ramsey, and then all the way back to the halfway line, where Connor Coventry will guide it back towards Mannion, who clears long. Gilbert will try and leap with Edmonds Green. Edmonds Green didn't really get the distance with the clearance, almost bounced into the path of Small, but the challenge came in from Curry. He got slightly lucky with the clearance, and it will be a throw-in to Orient on this near side by the corner flag.
You are right though, Nigel. If they just sit back, then it's only a matter of time before Leyton Orient creates some kind of really good chance. Get Thierry Small on the ball, get Tyrese Campbell on the ball, try to play on the front foot if you can, but as I say, it's a big pitch, it really is. Tire them out, make Richie Wellens have to make some substitutions.
And as we saw yesterday, if you don't get the second goal, you can be punished. All it takes is one mistake or one moment. Edmonds Green now. The back pass towards Keeley, and I wonder if he spent half time ruminating on that free kick and whether he should have done better. His clearance now goes straight out of play, and it will be a throw-in, which Kane Ramsey will take. One of a number of players snapped up from the lower divisions. Harrogate Town, a player who began in Southampton's academy, also scored the winning goal very late on away to Leyton Orient this season. He's on the ball now, a good ball in field just beyond Godden, doesn't quite fall for Campbell, and it's cleared away by the goal scorer Gillespie, just in ahead of Kelman. I'm not quite sure how many touches Kelman has had so far in the game, but I would imagine it's single figures. 3 minutes into the second half, Charlton leading here by a goal to nil.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get Charlie Kelman more into the game, but as I said earlier, these are two strikers on the pitch where even if they don't touch the ball for very long or for a long time, they're still ready to pounce. But at the moment, Kelman hasn't been given one chance.
And on the far side, Gillespie will step in before Ajay and just hammer the ball downfield in front of an advertising hoarding saying the season is on the line. Well, they got that right. And then at the moment, Charlton will finish it wreathed in smiles, leading here by a goal to nil. But Orient looking to step things up on the far side with Galbraith. Forward towards Donley, but cut out by Gillespie, and it's hammered away downfield. But once again, Orient will have a throw-in quickly into the feet of Ajay on the corner of the penalty area. Wide towards Galbraith again, looking for movement. Finds it from Donley, but very little room over on that far side. The Orient right. Galbraith again, Ajay. So much of their approach work as at close quarters, and they're not really opening Charlton up. But now they will try to change the point of the attack with Edmonds Green, but he looks forward, then under pressure from Godden, goes all the way back towards Keeley.
Yeah, at the moment, this is what I was talking about. You can control the game without the ball. Leyton Orient, they have possession, but they've got nowhere to go with it. Charlton's so good, so well organised defensively, know exactly where to be.
Now Andrew Kitchen, the referee, has penalised. I think he's given a drop ball in the end, and the ball has gone back to. Must have hit him, I think. Not too sure what he did there.
Either that we didn't see, or something wrong with the ball.
But anyway, we're back moving here with Orient coming forward on the far side with Donley. Good ball on the outside. The low ball into the near post from Galbraith. Now, was he taken down late there, Galbraith, inside the penalty area? One or two Orient fans suggest he was. The cross, though, was gathered at the near post by Mannion, but that's what they need to see from Galbraith.
Yeah, I think it's only one or two Leyton Orient fans say they're brought down. I mean, really good play, first of all. Great run out round the outside. He got the cross in. And Josh Edwards, he tries to stop the cross. But no, it's the momentum of Galbraith that then goes into Edwards. So no, not a foul. Not a foul at all.
Now Campbell, wide towards Small for Charlton. On this near side there right. Small, very tricky, delivers the cross into the penalty area. And again, it was inviting towards the far post, but slightly overhit beyond Doherty and Godden and behind for a goal kick. 51 minutes played on Talksport 2. Charlton 1, Orient 0.
Well, you've got Dan Ajay on one side, and you've also got Thierry Small on the other. Both looking very dangerous, able to cut in, whip in some good crosses. I think he overplayed it there. He's got to just look up. He had time to do that, but He's just as dangerous as Ajay on the other side.
Now Donnelly for Orient. Claims he was fouled by Coventry, but nothing given. And on the far side, just a slip from Beckles. Under pressure from Campbell, and it squirts out of play, and it will be a Charlton throw-in. And just for a moment, Josh Edwards looked for the quick one, but I think he'll just gather his thoughts here, wait for his big men to rumble forward, and will hurl this ball long into the Orient penalty area. I think if Charlton get the second goal, you cannot make a case for Orient coming back into this game, just looking at the stats during the entire season. Edwards with the long throw into the near post, headed away again by Clare, recovered by Ramsey, but a poor ball from him, which is quickly cut out by Kelman on the halfway line, but Ramsey does well to recover. And now Edwards plays the ball down the line, looking for Campbell down the left-hand side. Campbell claims he was fouled there by Beckles. I think Campbell made the most of it, but there was some contact, and it's a free kick for Charlton in a good area, much better than a corner kick down their left-hand side.
Yeah, look, it's a definite foul. It's definitely not a card, but it is a foul from Beckles, and that's where we talked about the spacing behind for Tyrese Campbell to come into. Galbraith just a little bit further forward. He's trying to get tight to the ball. The ball's played down the wing. No centre-half really likes to come out and be in that wide position, and Tyrese Campbell has become a really good player. Centre-forward as a kid, wide player early on in the first team, and now he can do a bit of both, out to in to out, making it really dangerous for Beckles.
Alice Gilbert over the free kick in front of those expectant Charlton fans on the far side. And this ball will be whipped in with some pace. Jones and Doherty wait at the near post along with Godden. Gillespie, the scorer of the only goal so far at the far post. It's in towards that far post. Beckles will rise to head the ball away. Coventry tries to win it back, and he was doing some pushing as he did so, and it will be a free kick for Orient, taken quickly but with a moving ball, and any element of surprise Orient had there has gone.
I don't know why Coventry has made that foul. He's on the edge of the box. Can't do anything other than flick it on, so just let him do it, and then Charlton would have picked up the ball again. Now you want to try and win it and get it back in the box as quickly as possible, but that's where you need to have a really cool head. Again, the longer this game goes on, the more that Leyton Orient will start to panic, so don't panic yourself. Make the pitch as big as possible, tire you out, and it's almost a death by 1,000 cuts. That's what you want to try and do, even if you don't get that second goal.
Now Edmonds Green with a good ball forward for Orient, picking out Donnelly further wide towards Ajay on the right. Kelman sauntering into the box in the centre. Back now towards Brown, and it's a good ball square, and there's the opportunity to hit this for Curry, but it was quickly blocked by Gilbert on the edge of the penalty area. And now Godden looks to buy the free kick from Edmonds Green, and Edmonds Green was rather sucked into that, but it was a foul again, and Godman bounces off him onto the turf, and it will be a free kick.
Brilliant play from Matty Godden. That's exactly what he wants and his team wants, and Nathan Jones wants him to do. Under pressure, the ball goes up to him, he gets that contact, he goes down. I mean, Edmonds Green should know that. He's not going to get the ball. Don't try and go there. It's a clear foul, and now you just kill a bit of time, kill a bit of momentum. It's exactly what Charlton want.
10 minutes into the second half, Charlton leading by a goal to nil. The free kick from Ramsey is cleared away, and Coventry lunging to divert it wide to the far side, where it's kept alive by Edwards and then hammered away by Brown for Orient. But Charlton win it back, but very quickly give the ball away. Galbraith riding the challenge of Edwards, and he's got space in field, but it's so congested out there, and Charlton really hunt impacts in that sort of situation. And now it's forward towards Campbell on the far side, looking to isolate Beckles again, and this time Beckles stays on his feet, makes the challenge, but Charlton have the throw-in by the corner flag on the far side.
Clever play from Campbell though, isn't it? Again, peeling out to the left. I'm sure Ollie and I spoke about this at half-time, that Nathan Jones would have told him to do just that. Galbraith is not a right back, and he will try to push on a little bit more. There will be space in that, and he's finding that space. And where in the first half he was trying to take on players and just losing it, now he's either winning free kicks or winning corners and throw-ins.
Josh Edwards winding up for the long throw once again in towards that near post. Again, it's Beckles who heads the ball away. Campbell returns it into the penalty area. It's flicked on. Beckles with an aerial duel goes down briefly, but then quickly bounces to his feet. Gillespie plays it back into the penalty area, and there was an opportunity there for Jones, but he tried to pirouette. Not really built for pirouettes, but he's done well to win it back. And Campbell now on the far side, and then Campbell almost robbing Adjai. It's all very scrappy, but now the long ball forward for Orient, and Kelman could be in briefly, but Coventry doing just enough to force him wide. But Kelman still has the ball here, delivers the cross, and it's deflected off Coventry, and it goes behind for an Orient corner.
And that's what Charlton need to be careful about, that quick transition when they're on the attack, which is why you can't go completely gung-ho. Kelman, I thought, got the wrong side of Connor Coventry. Coventry did really well in the end.
Corner's played short on the far side, and now it's driven into the penalty area, headed away by Doherty. Donnelly will try and recover, plays it square to Curry, who's got space and time in the central area. The cross is closed down by Godden, but back towards Curry. He hits it, takes a deflection just wide. Goodness me, Curry hit that from miles out, and it took a massive deflection and an almost slow motion, nearly crept past Mannion, who I think may have got a hand to it as well.
Oh wow, I mean, tell you what, he had the shot, got the deflection. Mannion's going for it as if he has to. I'm not sure he did get a touch, it was just for the deflection, but it looked like he was beaten, and almost it could be a goal.
And it's played short again, whipped into the penalty area. Brown with a shot just over the top. Well, it broke to him on the penalty spot, and Brown, head in hand, knows that was a really good chance. But suddenly, the Orient players, and more importantly perhaps in the circumstances, the Orient fans are back in the game.
Yeah, they believe now, don't they? Just a couple of opportunities. Charlton have let them in. He's got probably 2 yards. He's taken the touch. It's not a bad touch, but because it's bounced, he's not able to get properly over it and keep it down. But Mannion's beaten now. That was a few more inches down. That would have been a top corner equaliser.
Well, we're just watching on our monitor the shot from Curry, which just seemed to float towards that far post, and we were waiting for the net to bulge, and then suddenly it just seemed to move away at the last moment.
Yeah, we're at the angle, aren't we, where Mannion's beaten. It looks like he feels he's got to get a touch, and we're waiting for the net to bulge, the side netting, which would have meant it would have been the equaliser. Thankfully for Charlton fans, not so for Leyton Orient, it just went the other side of the post.
59 minutes played on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. This absorbing playoff final really coming to the boil now. Charlton 1, Orient 0. Macaulay Gillespie with the goal after 31 minutes, a central defender with an outrageous curling free kick from long range. But Orient have suddenly come back into this game as Adjai is beaten to it in the air by Edwards on the far side, but all of the loose balls at the moment are falling to grey shirts as it's guided back by Clare towards his goalkeeper Josh Keeling. Now Beckles in towards Clare again. Gilbert quickly snapping away at his heels, and long and high again, looking for Adjai, but Coventry will just hammer the ball downfield for Charlton. And Godden now will close down a back pass from Edmonds Green, and it's cleared away by Keeley. High into the Wembley sky again, and then a big leap from Lloyd Jones to head it over the top, and he's left a opposition player on the deck there. And I think it's Ollie O'Neill, but he's okay. Quickly back to his feet, and it will be a drop ball for Leyton Orient, and Josh Keeley, their goalkeeper, can pick it up. And he plays it short to O'Neill, who scored at Edgeley Park in the second leg of the semi-final to put Orient ahead. Ultimately that went to penalties, and they would take penalties at the moment, trailing by a goal to nil with half an hour to play here. But as we saw yesterday in the championship game over on Talksport, a 1-0 lead is never enough until the full-time whistle blows. Now Curry Coming forward for Orient again, beyond the challenge of Gilbert towards the edge of the penalty area. It's squared towards Kelman. The shot deflected off the crossbar and headed behind by Edwards. And Charlie Kelman, who has not had a sight of goal so far, suddenly lets fly, and it's deflected onto the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, and again, Mannion was beaten. Great run from Jack Curry down the left, showing pace and power, playing it into Kelman. He just drops off. Yes, there would have been a little bit of luck, but my goodness, has just hit the crossbar. And Leyton Orient are knocking at this door.
Corner kick for them again. The last couple have gone short. Coventry, though, cuts that out, whipped into the near post, flicked on at the near post, and headed behind in the end by Clare. And there'll be an opportunity here for Charlton to just gather their thoughts and maybe try and take the sting out of the game, because at the moment they are second best, and they will be a response from the bench for Charlton Athletic very soon. And maybe that's not too much of a surprise. Tenno Watson and Karoy Anderson will be coming on.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who Tenno Watson comes on for. It may well be Thierry Small. You still need that out, which they would have on him, but I'm not surprised to see Karoy Anderson. He really can just kind of beef up that midfield. He did a great job coming on in the second leg at the Valley on Thursday night, but there's no doubt about it, Leyton Orient have got the momentum in this game.
Well, Tenno Watson, of course, is a right-back, and he's more of a defensive right-back, though, isn't he? He's not a wing-back as such.
No, but I can't see, unless Kane Ramsey's injured, I think it will literally be a shore up down the right-hand side.
Well, it's cleared away downfield by Ramsey now, flicked on by Godden, looking for Campbell. Beckles, though, gets there first, and the flag's up for offside anyway against Campbell, and it will be a free kick for Orient. 63 minutes played on Talksport 2. Charlton 1, Orient 0, but it's looking a very tenuous lead at the moment as Keeley plays it long downfield for Orient over the head of Kelman, who was being very, very tightly marked by Ramsey. As Coventry quickly loses out to O'Neill in the challenge, and Donnelly can bring it forward now for Orient. He's got Galbraith on the overlap down the right. Donnelly, though, comes in field towards the left and finds Clare. Clare square towards Donnelly again. Galbraith is still forward on the right, and he receives the ball now, and it's shuffled back in field towards Brown as Orient strain to find the attacking angle on the right hand side. It's in towards Ajay, surrounded by red shirts, but he's found Donnelly. Donnelly tries to reverse it back into the penalty area. It then comes back to him, and he is hacked down a yard outside the penalty area by Gilbert. Charlton players are claiming there should have been a handball earlier in that move, but nothing was given, and Gilbert, with a very agricultural challenge, taking out Donnelly a yard outside the box, dead centre.
Well, first of all, you play to the whistle. Whether it's handball or not, he hasn't given it, so you carry on. Secondly, Alex Gilbert, you don't make that type of challenge right in front of goal, 19 yards out. Now, the only thing I'd say is it almost too close to get it up and over. We talked about how in the first half with the goal so far that Josh Keeley was over one side. I honestly think this is where the goalkeeper has to stay his side, and if someone gets it up and over the wall, don't forget Gillespie got it round the wall and he had enough time to do that because it was 25 yards out. This is only a yard or so out of the 18-yard box.
Well, Kelman and Donnelly are over this. Two low knees. And I'm slightly surprised Charlton don't have a draft excluded, because they could go under the wall, of course, or maybe through it. It's a very long wall interspersed with one or two Charlton players as well. Kelman now leaves it for Donnelly. Donnelly hits it, it's deflected off the wall. It's kept alive, though, by Small, who heads it back into his own penalty area. O'Neill looking to bulldoze his way through. It then does hit the hand of Clare, but Charlton hammer the ball away downfield.
Well, it's a poor free kick. Do not hit the wall. It wasn't even really a power or try and get it up and over.
Well, Beckles has stayed forward here, but Jones dives in to head the ball away, and Gilbert hammers it downfield looking for Godden, who almost gets there before O'Neill, but it's quickly tidied up by Galbraith coming across to win the ball back. And now Orient dominating possession at the moment as Charlton ready their double change.
Still can't bring him on at the moment. They're desperate to come on. Sure, Nathan is as well. But in a game where there's very few chances, that was a wonderful opportunity.
Ajay now breaks into the penalty area, almost plays it through to Donnelly, but it's covered well by Coventry, and Coventry hammers it downfield. Campbell gets on his bike, but in the end, the whistle goes, and now the changes will be made for Charlton. And you called it, Thierry Small is coming off, and Tenai Watson is coming on, a player who's been promoted from the lower divisions with Coventry. Also lost in the playoffs against Wycombe with MK Dons a couple of years ago, so a measure of revenge for him this season. And Alex Gilbert, who has maybe just started to tire, he's coming off as well. And Karoy Anderson, the Jamaican international, one of Charlton's academy players, will come on to replace him. Only 20 years of age, and he's been used with regularity from the bench this season.
Yeah, he's a big talent, that is no doubt. He's not your typical number 10 as such, he's more of an 8. But he came on, he's done it more than once, but he came on Thursday night in the second leg and did exactly the job that Nathan wanted for Alex Gilbert. So, not surprised with that one. I suppose with Nathan thinking from a defensive point of view, in a way I'm not surprised with Tenai Watson coming off from Thierry Small, but it definitely you lose out a possible outlet there.
And play will resume with a throw-in for Orient, hurled long into the penalty area. Lloyd Jones coming through the crowd to head the ball away, but it will give Orient another opportunity to deliver this ball long, high into the box, almost level with the edge of the Charlton penalty area. Orient coming on strong here. A goal down, it's headed behind in the end by Godden, and it will be another Orient corner here, and we're beyond the midpoint of the second half on Talksport 2 at Wembley. Charlton leading by a goal to nil, but they really are hanging on grimly here. Once again, the corner will be played short by Donnelly, and then played square towards Galbraith. 25 yards out. Now Curry with the cross high to the far post. It's beyond everybody. Donnelly won't gather, and Connor Coventry, safety first, hammers it long downfield. And then Galbraith retreating, just hooks it high into the Charlton half. Once again, Jones wins it, and then it's played down the centre by Anderson, looking for Godden. Godden then collides with Keeley, and he's stayed down, but the flag's up for offside anyway. And I'm not sure whether that contact was necessary from either player, really, but nobody pulled out, and Godden has gone down and stayed down, but he was offside anyway.
Well, one, I didn't think he was offside initially, but it doesn't really matter now, it's irrelevant. But two, I didn't actually see, it was close whether he was or he wasn't, but I didn't see Josh Keeley, first of all, really coming in. He's just holding his own. Momentum, two players going into each other. He sees it coming, Matty Godden. And yeah, of course he's strong, Josh Keeley, but nothing wrong with that.
And he's back on his feet and play continues. Mannion clears downfield once again. Campbell doesn't quite beat Beckles in the air, but doesn't allow him a clear header either. But Galbraith on the cover will play it back, and now Beckles has given the ball away. Anderson wins it back. He can break into the penalty area. He's got support from Godden, but plays it square. Hammered towards goal by Doherty, and it took a deflection, and leaping up to tip the ball over the crossbar. Josh Keeley keeps Orient's hopes alive.
Well, it's the first time in a long time in this second half that Charlton have actually looked dangerous. And well done, Karoy Anderson. Again, that's exactly what his manager wants him to do. Hustle, harry, get the ball. If you can get a shot off yourself, brilliant. If you can't, well, lay it off. And you're right, Nigel, we're getting to the point now where 2-0 will kill the game, I'm pretty sure. So that's a good save from Keeley.
Into the final 20 minutes. Charlton corner on this near side as their supporters, who hugely outnumber the Orient fans here, almost 2-1. And they turn up the volume. Corner kick for Charlton. High towards that far post again. It's headed back into the 6-yard area, and it was Jones challenging for it. Headed away by Clare. Recovered by Godden now. Back out to the corner taker Edwards. Deeper ball high to the far post, and Ramsey going down. Claims he was fouled, but it was only a brief appeal, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
What a ball from Josh Edwards. I mean, just crying out for someone to get on the end of it. And it's actually brilliant defending from the Leyton Orient defenders. The ones who are picking up are Charlton players. They've made sure that the Charlton player hasn't been able to get the touch. And then the others are realising, I can't touch this. I'm facing my own goal. If I do, it's going to be an own goal. Brilliant cross, but really good defending as well.
Well, Ramsey is staying down here. He was initially trying to stretch off, and then he gets up and hobbles back. He's miles offside at the moment, and he's aware of that. But more importantly for Charlton, he's out of position, which is why Teddy Watson has come across, and Godden has almost dropped into the right back position. But now Ramsey is back in his place. 71 minutes played on Talksport, the home of the EFL, and it's Charlton 1, Leyton Orient 0. Charlton barely inching their way back to the Championship at the moment.
I mean, one thing I would say, Nigel, it's been a great response from Leyton Orient. 1-0 down, chasing the game, these tiring conditions, both pitch-wise and weather. And it looked like in the early part of the second half that they'd just gone a little bit, picked up double chance quite early, and suddenly they look very much on the front foot. If they can get the equaliser, they'll believe they can get the winner.
Now Kelman coming forward now. A twisting run wide to the right-hand side. He's got support from Brown. And here is Clare. Galbraith 20 yards out. But again, it's closed down, and the red shirts move out en masse to try and win that second ball. But here is Ajay now, looking to attack the penalty area down the right, comes in field, curls it high to the far post, but beyond the far post, and it's a goal kick, and that's celebrated by some Charlton fans, almost like a goal at the other end of the stadium.
Well, Josh Edwards does so well there. It's a one-on-one situation against Leyton Orient's most dangerous player this afternoon. No one's going out to help him. If I were him, I'd be thinking, surely someone's going to get close and help me do a 2-on-1. But actually, he does come inside, which he shouldn't allow it, but he wasn't allowing any kind of shot there, and the cross in the end, he was able to get tight enough, and it was just overplayed. Good defending from Edwards.
Sean Clare and Jordan Brown coming off now for Orient. Tom James and Dominic Ball have come on to replace them. Dominic Ball was part of the Ipswich team, which earned back-to-back promotions to the Premier League. Of course, he began in League One with them. Also came through the academy at Spurs before moving on to QPR, as Teddy Watson now comes forward for Charlton, cuts it back into the penalty area, but he's won the ball back from a slip, and now Godden now down the right. An error initially inside the Charlton penalty area by James, which I think was his first involvement, and as a result Charlton try and build, but Ramsey loses out, and Ball will have the opportunity to take the throw in, but he will leave it, and Orient can just calm things down. But 16 minutes to play here at Wembley. They are beginning to run out of time, but it's still only 1-0.
Yeah, Tom James gone into right back. Galbraith has moved into midfield. An understandable one with that one, but there is still time. There is plenty of time. 15 minutes plus injury time, and they've shown they can create chances. Now it's down to Charlton to try and wrestle back the tempo of the game and just control it, which is what they've been doing just in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Godden now with a cross in from the right-hand side. Doherty will try and pick the ball up just outside the penalty area. Coventry with a thumping challenge, and he's won it back, and it almost breaks towards Karoy Anderson, but I think the referee was just waiting to give a free kick somewhere there, and in the end he penalises Anderson for the challenge on Ball, and Orient can bring the ball clear. Ball comes forward now from that free kick over the halfway line for Orient. The grey shirts streaming forward in greater numbers now, greater urgency as well, with less than 15 minutes to play on Talksport 2, and Charlton still leading by a goal to nil. It was at this stage yesterday that everything changed in the Sheffield United-Sunderland game. O'Neill coming forward now for Orient, cuts it back to Galbraith, a lovely ball into the penalty area. Kelman on the turn, but he's forced wide towards Ajay. Ajay now at walking pace, looking to go beyond Edwards, who stands his ground. Ajay, though, has still got support. It's whipped in by Brown into the penalty area. Cleared away initially, and then Doherty with a second header away with greater difference. Brown, though, looking to win it back, but it spins out of play off him, and it will be a throw-in to Charlton on the far side, and Tom James now has the opportunity to get back into a defensive role, and Charlton here just beginning to take their time.
Yeah, I just wonder whether it's worth thinking of Chuckson-Ike coming on for Tyrese Campbell, who has done really well so far, but just looking as if he's a little bit tired now. Chuck certainly is one of those. He's big, he's strong, he's got massive injury problems. But for 20 minutes coming off the bench, boy, can he make an impact, and he can certainly relieve the pressure that Charlton defence are under right now.
You're listening to Charlton against Orient in the EFL League One, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in, delivered to your door with Mac Delivery. Nearly 77 minutes played here at Wembley. Grey skies at the moment, but it's a bright future for Charlton if it stays like this. Leading by a goal to nil as Ajay was having his shirt pulled by Edwards on the far side, but Orient maintain possession. Ball wide towards James, clipped high towards Donnelly, now laid back, and here is an opportunity for O'Neill inside the penalty area. His shot is blocked, and in the end it's cleared away by Coventry. And it's quickly played forward by Godden, long and high. Campbell will eat up the ground, but Beckles gets there first. Beckles goes down, I think, looking for the free kick, but in the end it goes out. And Tyrese Campbell, I think, has gone down with cramp. It will be a throw-in for Charlton midway inside the Orient half, but Campbell may need some treatment here.
It looks like there's going to be, is it a double or a triple substitution for Charlton?
Well, certainly two of them. And Chuckson-Ike will be one of the players coming on, and Mika Umbik will be the other. Well, Chuckson-Ike has not started a game for Charlton this season. He's come off the bench 26 times. Only scored one goal, but he's just that player they need just to take the pressure off.
Absolutely. He's a super sub, and there's no doubt about it. You just feel if he was able to start games, and he hasn't done, not just this season, but for a good few years now, the ability that he's got, if he was able to do that on a 90-minute basis, he definitely could have been top-end Championship, possibly even Premier League, but no top club's going to come in for him with his injury record. But in this situation, this is absolutely what he is made for.
The throwing down the line for Charlton goes straight out of play. There was plenty going on there involving Karoy Anderson and Curry on this near side, but nothing given. I don't think Campbell's going to be able to carry on here, and as you say, he may have been the player coming off anyway. As Keeley plays it out downfield again, up to the halfway line. Ajay is given the ball away though. Doherty now can come forward for Charlton, up towards the edge of the penalty area down the left. No real support, no opportunity to cross, so he comes back. And now Edwards has got some time. Back to Gillespie at the moment, he's the match winner.
What a brilliant play from Doherty. It really was. First of all, Josh Edwards making sure that Ajay had no time at all, and he just nicked the ball, and then Doherty somehow found the energy to get down to the byline. Nothing's on, he's turned out, kept the ball, another 30 seconds have passed.
It's Matt Godden who is coming off, and Chuckson-Ike will come on. So Matt Godden won't be adding to his 22 goals this season here today. Slightly surprised by that. And it will be Tyrese Campbell, the other player, who comes off. Mika Umbik, 18 years of age, only 4 appearances from the bench this season. He now comes on with his team, 10 minutes away from winning a Wembley final. No pressure, son.
No pressure at all. And I bet his family are nervous as heck. But what an experience. And what an opportunity to go and get Charlton's second goal and kill this game off. Without a doubt now 2-0 kills it, but you do get the feeling if there is going to be another goal, it might well come from Leyton Orient. Still got twists and turns, and don't forget 5 of the 6 goals between these two this season have come in the injury time of the second half. This game is still far from over.
Well, the Wembley staff around us are starting to rope off the area which they need for the presentation, because the winning team walks straight past our commentary position and then up the stairs to the royal box. So they obviously believe that Charlton have won this game.
Well, they obviously weren't listening to me.
No.
It's like being at home.
They obviously haven't seen the previous games. And a triple change here for Orient. Dan Happer, Randall Williams and Azim Abdullahi are coming on. Omar Beckles and Ollie O'Neill are the first two players who have gone off. The final card's been played here by Richie Wellens, and we'll just see who the final change is. Randall Williams will be coming on for Dan Ajayi, so for the Charlton players who've been trying to deal with him, that's a small victory.
Yeah,
maybe more than a small victory.
Absolutely. I do think Josh Edwards in the second half has played Dan Ajayi absolutely brilliantly. There's only a couple of times he's looked dangerous, where almost all the time in the first half he has looked dangerous. Really well done to Edwards for looking after him in that case. And yeah, he certainly looked, over the whole 90 minutes, what we've seen so far, one of Leyton Orient's best players. But I think Richie Wellens has realised he's just not been able to get himself involved in the last 10-15 minutes.
Well, Dan Happer has only played 3 times since the middle of February due to injury for Orient. He comes on now at the heart of their defence. Randall Williams is a player with plenty of playoff experience with Bolton, and it's not been great in the main. The referee has just come across to this near side and he's having a words with one of the officials. I wonder if there's a technology problem here. Kevin Friend is also there, who's one of the referee's assessors, just having a word, and Andrew Kitching is currently having words with various people on walkie-talkies.
What's he saying? The Charlton fans are too loud? Either turn them down or turn me up. Oh goodness me, what, we've got 7 minutes plus injury time. Charlton fans, absolutely amazing right now.
Well, they've sensed it's the moment to turn up the volume, and the referee is still in conversation with his fourth official and other people down there who are not necessarily associated with the game.
Maybe they've just seen Andrew Lloyd Webber there and thought, we're going to sing a little bit more.
I thought it was his brother who was the Orient fan.
No idea.
Anyway, 7 minutes to play, and the referee is changing his communications here. Well, it's some time in the game to have a break like this. 76,000 here today for a third-tier game. Nowhere else in world football has that depth of support.
You beat me to it. I don't think it's being overly patriotic to say in terms of the top tier, but second tier, third tier, fourth and fifth. The fans that we get in English football is just nothing short of amazing.
Well, we're still yet to resume here. There's no sign of the referee. So all of the Charlton players are heading over to this near side to take on some fluids and more words from Nathan Jones. The Orient players are also wandering across as well. And one or two of the floor managers I know from Sky are stood at the mouth of the tunnel just wondering where the referee is. He's returning now. Of course, he needs to be in consultation with the VAR officials, Michael Salisbury, and at the moment Nathan Jones is talking to Kevin Friend, who is here as the referee's assessor today, the former Premier League referee.
Yeah, I think we're nearly there. I mean, look, technology, it happens, but we should be ready for it. There should be a substitute, you know, if again, we talk about from a defending point of view. I always taught almost from a school kid, certainly as apprenticeship, what if something goes wrong? What if I...
Well, he's gone back down the tunnel now.
And it's like, we know machinery can go wrong, but what if it does? Are we ready? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, while there's a break in play, let's get team news from our 4 o'clock commentary here on Talksport 2. Newcastle against Everton with Adam Bridge.
And big news for the home side. Alexander Isak is fit and he starts for Newcastle United. The only change from the side defeated against Arsenal. He replaces Callum Wilson. Trippier returns to the bench as well. As for Everton, 4 changes today. We knew Branthwaite and Coleman were out injured. McNeil and Doucouré dropped to the bench. Alcaraz, Keane, Young and Harrison come in to start. We're live from 4 o'clock here on Talksport 2 from St James's Park.
And the Talksport network, the best place to follow the final day of the league season. Game day live with Adrian Durham, live from the City Ground. Forest against Chelsea. Our commentary on Talksport is Manchester United against Aston Villa. They'll also have all the goals as they go in. As we know, Adam will bring you Newcastle against Everton alongside Troy Deeney and Faye Carruthers. Fulham against Manchester City will be on Talk Radio. And the games at Southampton, Tottenham, Ipswich and Bournemouth will all be available on the Talksport app. Well, this is ridiculous. This is a League One playoff final for a place in the Championship. 76,000 people here, a global audience of millions, and we're not playing because the referees' communications aren't working.
And we're ready. And 76,000 fans in unison give them a cheer. The one time they are together.
Well, Andrew Kitching has now gone across to the far side, and look, it's not his fault. He's only the person who's carrying the technology, yep. But I'm not sure that benefits either side.
Well, I want to be saying at someone, one job. One job.
Well, there are plenty of people down there who somebody should have been allotted that job. There's enough people around. Anyway, we resume with a long throw for Charlton, which is flicked on by Niké and behind for a goal kick. We've got 2 minutes to play, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see double figures in terms of added time now.
Oh, absolutely.
That must have been 6 minutes on its own.
Must have been, at least. It felt more. I think for Charlton fans, it felt about 30 minutes.
Well, Orient have given the ball away on the far side, and it will be a throw-in for Charlton, who are closing in on a return to the Championship. They've got the trappings of a Premier League club in terms of the stadium, as Niké hammers a shot into from wide out on the far side, and it's turned aside by Keeley, who was surprised by that. We all were, and in the end he paused the ball behind.
Well, it was probably just going wide, but Keeley didn't know that. And at a time where you might think, well, no, just keep it and try and get in the corner. Why not? He just sat up, his body shape was right. Have a go. Very nearly took Charlton to promotion there and then.
Well, it's a corner kick on the far side in the 90th minute. But we are going to have loads of added time here. Corner kick, which will be delivered high towards that far post, and Niké is there. It's also kept alive by Mbik, the 18-year-old. He manages to bring the ball down inside the penalty area. Now Doherty heading towards the corner flag, but it's back to Coventry. His cross in, does it take a deflection? Not according to the referee, and it goes behind, and it will be a goal kick.
Shouldn't have tried to cross there. Just take the touch, you're under pressure. If you can get a foul, kill a bit of time. If not, keep the ball in the corner.
Now Galbraith for Orient, wide to this near side, and Abdullahi, he's forced in field, and that's good running from Tadai Watson, and there will be a minimum of 11 more minutes. Well, VAR played its part yesterday, and the means of talking to VAR have played their part here today.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, I thought it might have just touched 10, maybe 9, but 11.
Well, it's a free kick anyway on the far side. Randall Williams catching Josh Edwards, and it will be a free kick for Charlton.
You were saying, of course, weren't you, about how Charlton, what happens to them in playoff finals. Don't make it easy.
Well, this season, 5 of the 6 goals before today have been scored between Orient and Charlton in added time. And Charlton have scored 10 goals after 90 minutes this season. This usually is their time, and a second goal would certainly finish things off. But Orient here need late drama themselves at the other end. And now Galbraith coming forward. Plays it wide to this far side, and James has got support in the wide area. Randall Williams will look to attack Edwards, who just had a nibble at him, and Williams comes in field. The cross-in, though, was looped high. He slipped as he hit it, 1 foot onto the other, so as a result it spun up, and it's into the arms of Will Mannion.
Josh Edwards has been superb defensively, but he's tiring now, and Randall Williams coming on, running at him, and you're right, he just had a nibble and is inside the box. Not enough for Williams to go down, but just stay on your feet. Do not make any rash decisions if you are a Charlton player right now.
Lloyd Jones has also just been shown a yellow card. The Charlton stalwart, player of the year, wins a header now and just sends it out of play on the far side. Once again, the Charlton fans right behind their team. They've had so many dark days in recent years. And in many ways, the work of Nathan Jones and this team has almost been, despite what's been going on off the field, but Anike now given the opportunity to run forward, and in the end it was out of play, but Charlton do have a throw-in, and Lee Bowyer, who was the manager of Charlton, I think the interim manager at the time when Charlton won the playoffs against Sunderland here in 2019, he's also here today looking on. And I'm sure he knows the agonies that Nathan Jones will be going through at the moment, although his team won it right at the end. He must have been thinking about extra time, and then all of a sudden it was over.
Yeah, Patrick Bauer will always be a legend for that goal. And Charlton fans don't need anyone to step up and score a goal in the last minute now. They just need to make sure there is no goal in the last few minutes, but there's still 8 minutes to go.
We're into the 94th minute on Talksport 2. The League One playoff final on the home of the EFL. Charlton 1, Orient 0. And it's back with Josh Keeley, the Orient goalkeeper, who clears long downfield. Small winning the header initially, but Orient win it back. But it's Mbik, the 18-year-old, with absolutely no fear, closing down ball. And as a result, Edmonds Green has to go all the way back towards Keeley, and then creates the angle for him to play it out wide on this far side, the Orient right. Now Randall Williams back in field to Happer. Curry, who had that long-range shot deflected just wide early in the second half, and Charlie Kelman also seeing a shot deflected onto the crossbar. Those the best moments for Orient going forward. Will Mannion has not really had to make a save so far, as Williams heads it into the penalty area, and Gillespie will hammer the ball away.
The stats say that Leyton Orient have not had a shot on target yet, and that says pretty much everything.
Now Anike plays it down the line, looking for Mbik, but the ball is guided back by Happer towards Keeley. And now Curry. Abdullah in space on this near side, but it's played back in field to Ball, and all the way back towards Happer, and Orient finding it difficult here to build. Charlton have set themselves up to hold on in the remaining 5.5 minutes here. But Kelman working hard, has won a throw-in on the far side for Orient. Is their run of disappointments at Wembley about to continue here? The cross-in was blocked at the near post, and it's flattened a Charlton player. I think it might be Doherty who is down. He caught that one full in the face, and there will be another break of play here.
Yeah, obviously the referee has got to be careful, because it is a head injury straight into the face of Doherty. But yeah, if he can get up, you're only kicking the can down the road. The referee will add time. Can Charlton see this one out? 5 minutes to go? Still enough time for Leyton Orient for one or two chances.
The long throw into the area, headed away by Jones. Nodded back into the box once again, and then Happer with a high ball forward. At the moment, Charlton are straining every sinew to get the ball away. Coventry's clearance only finds Curry. He can now come forward. Abdullahi is the outlet. He then comes back in field. Galbraith again. Charlton have been very good at stopping the crosses today, which has been a major part of Orient's game in the regular season, supporting players like Charlie Kelman. But of course Nathan Jones has done his homework, and now Orient overplaying, and they've given the ball away. And here is Anderson, wide towards Mbik. Anderson waits in the penalty area. Mbik just overrunning the ball and running into trouble, and it's given away and cleared, and that was the opportunity for Charlton to finish things off. And as a result, Orient come forward now on the counter-attack themselves with Curry. Galbraith in the middle, and then a tired challenge coming in from Ramsey, taking out Curry, and it's a free kick for Orient just outside the penalty area, left of centre.
Look, it's difficult to criticise Kane Ramsey. You can see he's pulling up with cramp at the moment. He couldn't afford for what is a very good performance from Jack Curry, the left back. The way he's bombed on down the left wing to push it past him, he wouldn't have had anything in him. It's another great moment for Leyton Orient, another nervy moment for these Charlton fans.
Donnelly over the free kick. 97.5 minutes played at Wembley. Charlton so close to the championship, but Orient still have time, still have hope here. And Jamie Donnelly is over this free kick. Almost a hush around Wembley with 76,000 people looking on. Donnelly's delivery, high to the far post, Mannion claims. And you can hear what the Charlton fans think of that.
Do you know what? Will Mannion hasn't had a lot to do, but everything he's been asked to do, he's done it perfectly. It's not a great cross from Donnelly. He knows he's better than that. We're just minutes away, and you're going to lose this game and stay in this division, which, to be fair, when you think about what the budget is, it's amazing they're in this position, but what a moment that could have been.
And so many key players on loan for Orient, so if they don't go up, or even if they do, the squad and the team, this team would look very different next season, and that is always the challenge in the lower divisions if you're relying on loan players. And of course Keeley the goalkeeper, Donnelly the playmaker, Kelman the goal scorer, all on loan. But they can still make this a memorable season as Williams plays the high cross into the penalty area. Happer's header was looping on target, but comfortably into the arms of Mannion as we tick into the 100th minute.
It looked like for a moment Mannion's come out and then he stopped, and maybe a looping header could have beaten him, but no, he was able to get himself back in, and because of his height as well, that would have been some header to have looped it over in the end. Again, very good goalkeeping.
Curtis Fleming, part of the backroom team, is telling Charlton to get more compact. Mbik chasing a long ball forward on the far side, and in the end it will beat him into touch, but it's a goal kick, and we have a little over 90 seconds of added time to play. Over 100 minutes played here at Wembley. Charlton so close to the championship now. Williams for Orient, maybe they've got one final chance. A high ball played forward again. Two Charlton players converge on it. Williams heads away, and Nike's having his shirt pulled, but not seen by the referee. Now ball. Good run forward from him, and now it's played wide from Galbraith towards Curry. The early cross into the penalty area. Headed away at the far post by Edwards, but Edwards will now have to defend because Williams has it for Charlton. Crossing high in beyond Kelman and into the arms of Mannion. And that might be that.
Well, again, just listen to those Charlton fans. That could be it now, and if Mannion could stay on the ground for the full 30 seconds, he certainly would. Curtis Fleming and Nathan Jones are hugging each other. It's not over yet, but this might be it.
Well, two clubs who have been through so much in recent years. Orient fighting their way back from the National League. Charlton dealing with so many problems off the field in a Premier League stadium, languishing in the lower reaches of the third tier. But they're on the verge. But Charlton still have defending to do here. We're into the 12th minute of added time, but that's it! Charlton are back in the Championship. Nathan Jones and his backroom team stream onto the field in celebration. 40,000 fans, exuberant, on and off the field. Charlton have shown today just what a huge club they are, and they are back where they believe they belong, in the Championship. One goal enough. But as they celebrate, the Orient players flat out on the turf, they can't believe it. 10 months of hard work has ended up in bitter disappointment. It's always the contrast you see at the end of a season. But for Charlton Athletic, a team who have touched the heights and also plumbed the depths, they will believe they are on their way back. It was such a rough ride in the end today. 11 minutes of added time, but there'll be celebrations in South East London. What a week it's been for South East London. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup and Charlton win the League One playoff final. It is finished. Charlton Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 0, and the Addicts are back in the Championship.
Nigel, thank you very much indeed. Listen to the noise of the Charlton supporters. The smoke bombs are going off in that Charlton end because they will be playing in the Championship next season. They have done it. The Red Robin is bobbing up the Football League after 5 seasons away. They are back in the second tier, and 40,000 Addict supporters can create a party atmosphere. Nathan Jones at the full-time whistle was pumping his fists in delight because he has done it. Job done. Scott Minto, though, in that Charlton end, there won't be an unbitten fingernail. They had to hold on, and especially when Charlie Kelman's deflected shot came off the bar with half an hour to go. But Charlton saw the game out, and they're the team heading up.
Absolutely, Ollie. You know, all season, Charlton with that clean sheet, even going back to last season when Nathan Jones came in and made sure they didn't drop down to the 4th tier of English football, made themselves difficult to beat. Obviously, there were parts within this season where there were some lows, and even in December, losing games that you shouldn't be losing. Crawley at home springs to mind for sure. Losing to Leyton Orient in the EFL trophy. Drawing at home to Mansfield. But suddenly, he's just turned it around, Nathan, and the lads have as well. And I got nothing but the utmost of respect. And I think today's game is a reflection of that season, certainly the second half of the season, and a reflection of Nathan as well. You know, you watch him, he's up and down like a jack in the box. You know, he's playing again. He feels every moment, times 10, times about 100 maybe. But defensively, I thought Charlton were absolutely superb today, individually and collectively. Credit to Leyton Orient, they went 1-0 down, and there was parts in that second half where, well, the early part of the second half, I thought, I'm not sure if they believe they can come back. But there were then parts, well, about a 20-minute period where they created enough chances. You mentioned one. There's 3 or 4 really good chances where if they had scored, then who knows what way this game would have gone. But you know what? You need a little bit of luck. You need quality defending. And Charlton, I think, deserved it in the end. I mean, the stats will say that Leyton Orient only had 1 shot on target. That's harsh because that crossbar doesn't count. They definitely went for it. They gave it their all. But in the end, Charlton defensively were just that little bit better than Leyton Orient. And the game came down to one special moment.
These are some scenes in Wembley Stadium. That Charlton end bouncing up and down, flags being waved. They are in a party mood. The players have headed across to enjoy the celebrations with their supporters. And Scott, how happy are you for those fans? You have your connections, of course, with this club, but given what they've been through in recent seasons with turbulent ownerships, finally they're on their way back to where they deserve to be, and they think they deserve to be.
Absolutely. Look, you know, I played with and under Alan Kirbishley. I had to leave Charlton to try and get to the Premier League. I would have stayed if we were able to do it. But then, just a few years later, he took Charlton to the Premier League. They were unbelievable years. And for those who thought, oh, you know, you've got to do a little bit better, kick on to the next level. Well, look what happened when Alan Kirbishley went. And since then, it seems to be one thing after another. Yes, of course, there are special moments. The year under Chrissy Powell, winning the League One Championship title, I think with over 100 points, was very, very special. But you're absolutely right. Owners coming in, perhaps not understanding the club. Certainly, one of them getting rid of Chrissy Powell. But look, I think they've got a consortium now where it's good people who will take this club further on. And the most difficult thing was getting out of this division. And somehow they've done it. I didn't see it coming, not at the start of the season, not at the start of December. But again, that's why I give the utmost credit to Nathan and the boys, because it's day after day after day, on and off the pitch, looking after yourself, realising that you have got a manager who'll have a go at you big time. And you've got to be able to deal with that. And they've dealt with that, and they've gone in. They very nearly went straight up. That's in itself remarkable enough, but the playoffs is about right. But to see it, what was a very difficult semi-final and now final as well, the defence has got them through.
Desolation on the faces of those Leyton Orient players who gave it such a good go today, especially in that second half, as you were mentioning there, Scott. But when you think about the fact that they were in the bottom three at the start of November, when you think about the fact that Nigel Travis, the chairman, looked at the fixture on the final day at the start of the season away at Huddersfield and thought, that'll be a tough place to go if we need to stay up. It's incredible that they have got this far. They've got to a playoff final, and the future looks bright, especially with the investment coming towards the club. The only question is, and it's something Nigel pointed out in commentary, is how many of those players are on loan and how difficult it's going to be to keep some of that squad together.
Well, look, first and foremost, it was only a few years ago they were in the National League. So to think they're fighting their way to try and get into the Championship is remarkable, something that the club hadn't done since the early 80s. The job that Richie Wellens has done since he's come in, you know, he made sure they stayed up in League Two, then got promotion. They've got a bottom half budget, so to be fighting where they are in a playoff final is just nothing short of amazing. And I do think that the ownership with the money, and Martin Ling came in and talked about it, that the future does look good, whichever division it is. I think it's really important. You know, you get that right at the top, and they've certainly got the right manager, and then they can get the right recruitment. But recruitment now is the next question then. And Nigel's spot on. I think going up, it's easier to keep those players because they would have enjoyed it, obviously winning promotion. But certainly easier to attract others. Now those players won't be looking to play in League One again, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, drown their sorrows. It's been a great season.
Well, the Charlton players are coming across to head up the famous Wembley steps to celebrate their playoff promotion. Worth pointing out, man of the match was the match winner, Macaulay Gillespie, with some free kick to win this game. And the Charlton party can start. Let's head back over to your commentator, Nigel Adley, to take us through Charlton's lift of this trophy.
And it's Gary Doherty who is leading his team just past us here in our commentary box at Wembley to the foot of these steps up to the Royal Box. And the Charlton fans all around us high-fiving absolutely every Charlton player. And Doherty followed by Lloyd Jones, who was such a rock today. One or two of the players offering thumbs up to Scott Minto, who for some reason is someone they know. I can't think why. But all the youngsters are here as well, making their way up. It's an opportunity for every single player who has played any sort of part this season to enjoy the moment. And as we said, off the field, Charlton are beginning to head in a different direction, and these players I'm sure will be keen to be part of what is about to happen here. Nathan Jones at the rear of the line, just coming past us now. He looks absolutely exhausted after the work that he did during the game, but what a job he has done as well. And he, of course, had to rebuild his reputation as a manager following the problems he had at Southampton when he was there briefly last season in the Premier League. In many ways, Charlton took a chance on him just as much as he took a chance in heading down to the third tier once again. Maybe believes he has a CV which justifies him being higher up the football pyramid, but now he has taken Charlton back towards the championship, and he will lead his team high up towards the royal box here, followed by Gary Doherty and his players. And the Charlton ownership up there, absolutely delighted with every single player and member of the backroom team. There are hugs for Nathan Jones and Gary Doherty. And there's no doubt, when you look around this stadium with so many Charlton fans here, they are a club with huge potential, the trappings of the Premier League, and now they are back in the Championship, and they will hope they have got the firm footing to cement themselves there and maybe push on for the Premier League again at some stage. It's all about getting there first, and of course Charlton for so long have believed they belong in the Championship, but they've had to earn the right to get there, and it's been a long, hard journey. But in the sunshine at Wembley, Charlton and their magnificent supporters can celebrate their return to the Championship. It's been a very good week in South East London, and Charlton Athletic have played their part, and as the streamers and ticker tape rain down on the delighted Addict supporters in the penultimate game of a long, grueling EFL season, it is Charlton Athletic who have got the job done. They've stepped up and they're back in the Championship.
A huge congratulations to Charlton as that playoff trophy is passed down the players, and I'm sure Nathan Jones will get his turn with that trophy very, very soon. And Scott Minto, it's worth mentioning Nathan Jones. Nigel said there maybe he would feel that he could have had a job higher up the Football League. Well, he's taken Charlton back up into the second tier. And how important is it going to be for Charlton Athletic heading into next season with a manager who knows what it's all about?
Yes, he does. And I actually think Charlton were lucky, because I think Nathan saw the potential of the club, having worked at Charlton before. But he's not a third-tier manager. And for him to have done what he's done, you know, Charlton Athletic have been in League One for 8 of the last 9 years. That's just not good enough. And I talked about the word apathy earlier on, that the fans were having, because they were so disillusioned by what was happening from the very top. Now, I believe they've got the right consortium, and we'll have to wait and see whether that's slimmed down and one of the big boys really start to take over. They've absolutely got the right manager. And look, you know, what he did with Luton Town, I'm really excited about what could possibly happen for Charlton Athletic.
For tonight, it's all about celebration. The party can start, of course, but the hard work will start heading into this summer, knowing that they're now playing in the second tier. How busy, Scott, do you think that this summer will be and should be for Charlton?
The hard work started already, Ollie. There's almost, what they can do now is they can rip off the possible players in League One. Now they can carry on with what they already done, speaking to agents, speaking to players, thinking, right, we're going to be a Championship club. If we are, can we get you? Now they are playing a little bit behind, but now they have got that guarantee to players of being in the Championship for next season. So it's a massive coup. It's not just starting, it's already started, but it will be a continuation now.
Nathan Jones carrying that trophy down to the pitch where Charlton will continue their celebration. Scott Minto, thank you very much indeed for your company this afternoon.
Mate. I'm off to the box park with the Charlton guys now.
I'll see you down there. Come along. I'm sure. Nigel Adderley, thank you very much too. Fantastic commentary as always. So Charlton have done it. The party continues for them. They will be playing in the Championship next season. We'll bring you all of the reaction throughout the afternoon on Talksport 2. Our reporter Ian Abrahams will speak to both managers and the match winner Macaulay Gillespie too. Coming up next.